is the sun moving across the sky. It's not only until somebody gives you the information that it's not the sun moving, but that the Earth is. That's when you
It's
start to
actually
look at something
the
different,
same
right?
with clouds.
Right. But what I'm saying, what are just based on our observations, right? That's all we're doing is just looking up at the sky and watching things do what they do. When you do that, you're seeing things happen. You're not making a claim as to what's happening or not. You're just making an observation. When you make your observations, then you say, well, this is what I see, not what I think is happening. You guys follow me?
Yeah.
So it's not until you get the information that somebody's told you that it's not the sun moving, but the Earth is actually moving. That's when you have these ideas that think differently. So just based upon what you know, it doesn't look like we're moving, but it looks like the sun's moving. So the information that you receive, you're trusting it as a a reliable source. So you would say that yes, I believe this to be true because this person who's educated or whatever told me that it's that way, and I believe it.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Mhm.
all right, explain this. Explain this. If your theory is right, or whatever you're saying is right or correct, how how do we tell time? Do we just magically like put the sun away and then we come
Yeah,
back and then
yeah.
have our
Remember,
time?
yeah. Remember, write those questions down because we're gonna get to them
Okay.
after this.
The the
I'm just,
okay, yeah,
yeah,
never mind.
yeah. So I'm just gathering information. So all we can tell is that the things in the skies are moving, and we can't tell that if we're moving or not until somebody tells us. So we're believing information somebody else has told us about what the Earth is doing. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so that would be like considered just something we would believe. So point number two, axial rotation, that it's actually been measured or detected to be moving is something that we believe in because somebody else has told us. So it's a belief at its core because we haven't tested it out for ourselves. So we wouldn't know. So at this current moment right now, it's just a belief that you have that the earth is doing something. All right. So point number three is that the vacuum of space is a medium that we could travel to or that it actually exists. Uh, any one of you can actually chime in if you want to kind of go through it if you want.
Uh oh wait, what was the question again?
That the vacuum of space is a medium that we could travel to.
Okay.
Could you dumb that down for me?
All right. Like
Oh,
basically,
Space real?
yeah,
uh,
the space real. The
It's a-
vacuum of
Space
space.
real.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I believe space.
Or how do we know that it's real?
yeah,
Is basically what I'm
guys,
saying.
I'm gonna go take a shit and I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay. Jesus Christ, that was a bit. Oh
Yeah.
my, did it?
He was talking in circles a little bit. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I
ahead.
believe that space is real.
Okay. So
Well,
how would we know that it's real, Crow? Just information that you can tell me.
This is gonna sound stupid again, but
No, it's not.
I saw a video
Okay.
of this dude sending a hot dog to space, and then it popped the balloon it was on, and there was a camera, it was recording, and when it come back down, he ate it. Now that, for me, is
To
enough
be
to say.
fair, that video is of not going to space. It's more of a high Earth orbit.
Yeah, it's just Crow's kind of way that he can say that space is a reality.
Like
so.
you can see when it gets high enough that the Earth is like, you know, in a circle, kind of. Like you can't see the whole of Earth because that would be impossible. For a hot dog.
Do you know what the elevation was?
Yeah. So one second, guys. I just want him to just. I'm sorry, Fuzzy. I just want him to tell me what he knows, and then we're gonna, and then we'll open it up for questions and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah,
just hold tight a little bit.
That's all. That's all.
So
no, I didn't really. I just watched it because it was a hot dog. But I did see like the stars and stuff in the background. Like you could see like the edge of the Earth, and then past that was blackness. So that was enough for me to go, "Oh, that's space."
Okay. Webmaster, did you want to chime in, or do you not think that the vacuum of space is a reality? I don't know. What do you have to say?
Okay, Bro, I'm just gonna talk about that hot dog video that you saw.
Well, yeah, you could talk about that video, but I really just trying to get to what you know, if it's real or not.
Okay.
Is space real or not?
Well, the definition that NASA proposes, fuck no, it's not. You serious?
No.
I mean, no. I mean, you could say, with the whole waters above concept, that yes, if you were to somehow break past the dome and get into that water, yes, you would be in space, but you would immediately die. I mean, like.
All right,
I
so
think-
you're.
Hold on a second. I think Webmaster's a flat earther, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
That
yeah.
was
He was answering a bunch of questions like he wasn't with the globe, so I'm just kind of figuring out where he's at. So okay, I mean you have a different point of view than the other people did, but all right. So Crow, I think would be the only one that's in here. The other guy's dipped.
For shit.
Right, literally. So
Nugget left too.
all right, so with that information that you just gave me, it's not something that you verified yourself. You just saw a video of a hot dog going up on a balloon.
No, to answer that question, no, I have not verified it
Okay.
myself. I've just seen something and go, oh, well, there you go.
That thing and probably some other things like pictures from space, maybe the globe pictures or whatever.
That too. But
Just-
then again,
I'm
it's weird.
I'm adding a whole bunch of
because-
stuff in there because, I mean, we don't. There's a bunch of stuff in there that is probably thrown in as to why you think it's real, right?
I
mean,
think it's harder to believe things these days because with the technology we've got, anyone can make anything.
okay.
You know, like
I'll
I know
just-
this is not the same topic, but
Yeah. No,
fake
it's
ghost
fine.
videos,
Yeah, I'm gonna go
No,
ahead
it
and,
is.
and open up the conversation after I'm done with this. So, okay, so we're just gonna conclude to say that that remains as a belief in your mind because you don't have any way to verify that for yourself.
Yeah.
So, point number one, that Earth curvature is being measured by in ancient times or now is a belief. Axial rotation also is a belief, and the vacuum of space is also a belief that you carry to be true. So when you gather them together, the paradigm in which the globe Earth actually exists in your mind is only a belief. It stands to reason that you have been following religiously this understanding that the Earth is anything, that it's been told to you as a globe. So what do you think about that? Like so far that we just kind of looked into those three questions and kind of like peered into the mind and kind of saw that all the things that you thought were actually a reality are just
me or him.
well, you first. Webmaster seems to be going on the opposite end of it, so I would probably say you.
Like, it's just a really weird thing to think about, because I've always believed the Earth was round. Whenever someone said it's actually flat, I've been like, well, is it though?
Yeah.
But you made a good point, like, to prove that I believe it, but then again,
Right.
I said this to Joe before, no matter how hard you or anyone else tries, I don't think anyone will be able to prove properly that we are living on Earth or a flat Earth, or whether there's
Right.
someone in the sky watching us, or whether there's not.
Yeah, but to be fair, you have to give us a chance. I mean, like we got some pretty good
No, I
stuff
know.
in here to show. But
you've got
I mean,
really good points that I can't say anything
Right.
against.
whether or not we can actually provide that to you and change your mind, that's a whole other thing, right? But for now, we understand that it's just a deep-rooted belief that you think the Earth is a globe and it spins and it's in outer space.
Yeah, and for me,
Okay.
When I look at you, I'm thinking, oh, he's got a deep-rooted belief that it's flat.
Right. But what we would have is something called evidence and verifiable at that too. So we have something that you could verify and test and repeat and tell somebody else about to go check it out, test and repeat and measure to make sure that everything is lining up with something that you could actually verify to be true. So it's not it would leave the realm of belief at the time that you can actually verify to be true. But it stays in the realm of belief if you can't verify it to be true.
I also said this to Joe before that
Okay.
technically we're on the same boat, but it's not moving anywhere because you have verification that the Earth is flat. We have verification sort of. That the Earth is round.
we just kind of went through that. I don't think it's verification, Crow.
No, I know.
I
but
so. I know what you
who's
mean.
gonna be the one
I
to
know what you mean.
decide which one is right?
You are.
No,
You
how
are.
can I don't-
Ultimately, the person. Okay, so the person receiving any information has the ability to make a decision whether you're going to take on the information as something that is true, or you're going to test it to see that if it isn't, right?
I feel like my mind's gonna explode.
Well, dude, I promise you, you're not the only one. Like when people have been
No,
faced
no,
with these
that's the thing.
these questions, it's like it's so daunting, right? Like it just hits you like a ton of bricks. You're like, damn, like how can I reason this? And it's like just it's so much.
Why am I here? Who am I? Why?
Don't worry about it, man. Like yeah, it'll if just kind of listening to the things that we have to present, you know, maybe if you want to step out and come back, or maybe just think about it. Like what I'm saying is, I'm not going to arm wrestle anybody to think differently. I just want to present information, and you go wherever you want with it, right? Like
Yeah.
And that's it, you know. Like I'm not here to like, hey man, you're wrong. You know, like
Yeah,
I'm not going to get anywhere
I'm not
that
here
way.
to do that either. I
So-
hate people like that. Just, you know, if I express how I see things, I'm like, well, no, you're wrong. Like,
Yeah.
what if I'm not?
Yeah, you're ultimately the person to decide whether you're going to understand something to be true or not. It's up to you.
Exactly.
It's ultimately.
As, you know, the same to you.
Right. So it's good that you came in
Can I
here,
just-
and I'm glad that you guys actually gave me the time to allow me to speak and let you know. Even though some might consider it a bit kind of odd, you know, it makes them feel weird, and that's
I
why they
find it
dip.
interesting.
but-
I like. Again, I was saying this before. Everyone's mind works so differently from one another. Like
Sure.
it would be a very boring world if everyone had the same mindset. So it's interesting to hear what other people think about what's going on. But
Yeah.
the only reason I'm like, "Ooh, Jesus, that's weird," is because it's new to me. Like, I've
Alright.
always
Yeah,
believed
yeah,
one thing, and now that I'm hearing about another thing, I'm like, what?
Alright,
You know?
So this is what I'm gonna do, Crow, and I'll give you because hopefully you won't dip before you hear any information that we got to give you. But
I
it's
mean,
up
I
to
can't
it's
be
up
all
to
here all night, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
let's
I'm saying like you can leave whenever you like. I'm just saying hopefully you can give it at least a good go to hear what we got to say. I'm
Yeah,
going to turn it over to the panel, and if anybody wants to chime in with any information, that Crow, if you have any questions, by the way, you know you can ask us any questions about flat Earth, and we'll be happy to.
I do have one thing I would like to say that caught my ear when he said that you would ask us, but we have a deep-seated belief that it was flat or something to that effect.
Yeah, I went over with him that it's not a belief, Fuzzy. We covered that. Yeah.
No. He just said at the very end, like 90 seconds ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, no, just the idea is
this is going to sound really weird.
Crow, do you understand?
I believe that you
it's just the whole-
believe in disbelief, but I know you say we have proof. We don't believe. We know.
Mhm.
But I don't know that you do know
Sure.
that.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I know. We'll
my point. I was just gonna say the point is that for over 35 years, I had a very deep-seated belief and knowing that the Earth was a ball and a globe, and that satellites were up in space.
Yeah.
Right. I went and to go prove that, and now we're called flat earthers.
Thank you, Fuzzy. Okay, so is there any questions that you wanted to ask, Crow? We can save it for another day, man, if you'd like.
No, it's fine. I'm
Okay.
trying to think of one that Evan already asked to Joe because he explained some really well. Could ask him again, but we covered the
Dude,
one
I'm not the
that is
best at
most
explaining
interesting.
stuff in here, man.
You're good, Joe. You can do it,
Yeah.
man. Like,
The one that caught my eye the most, which we covered, was what happens when you get to the end.
okay. I'll
We
step
just
back,
covered
and we got some people in here that could answer that.
Yeah, don't know, can't go
You
there.
ever played Minecraft?
I said that before. Like,
And here's the point. Here's the point too, is that just because we don't have an
You got cut out, Fuzzy.
He died.
sorry, yeah.
he reached the end of the earth.
Yeah, he actually reached the end, fell off.
No, just because we don't have an explanation as to what it could be doesn't mean we can't disprove what they claim it to be, right? Because what they claim
Yeah.
it to be, we have pictures and evidence and things that will disprove it on its face. Its
Yeah.
own, it doesn't even work on its own model. But the point being is that it just because they're wrong doesn't mean we have to replace it with something else. We don't know. We just found it out that they've been lying to us about all this kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a true saying that we say here in this server, and as a community would say, that falsification is independent of replacement. So if we were to falsify anything within the heliocentric globe Earth paradigm, then we wouldn't necessarily have to replace anything of it. So it's something that we hold true as a value, that we are not just going to say, okay, so we falsified the curvature of Earth. Now we're going to give you what the flat Earth has, like as far as like a model, because we don't do that. Like, so it's just we take these ideas that the heliocentric globe Earth has been presenting to you, we take them down, and we just we're like you, we're in awe and amazement at the mystery that all this has, because there's a lot of it, right? So
it's one thing saying
So
this
it's
is
like
why I think
it's what
this,
I wanted
and
to point
Go
out
on.
what Big is saying. Like, it's like saying if you're being on trial for murder, and you proved yourself that you're not the one that did it, right? But then they want, okay, well then if you didn't do it, you got to tell me who did. You don't have to replace that you're being accused to somebody else to be accused. In other words, if we show you the globe is wrong, I don't got to give you, oh, here's what's.
Yeah. Like, you have to be there to see it and understand what happened.
are you referring to the Globe Crow, or what do you?
No, I was
Oh, the murder.
referring to his murder example. Yeah.
Right. So
Like,
evidence, right?
Evidence.
And
Right.
example
Evidence-
with someone's word
Evidence-
against someone else's word.
Evidence is key, right? Empirical evidence is key. One of the questions that might be sticking out in your mind, I don't know if you asked Job or not, but why would they lie is one of the questions we hear often.
The government.
Well, for good reason we hear it, but the understanding that motive is important it shouldn't be relevant to the discussion, because we're not going to tell you what somebody's thinking as to why they did this. We're just going to show you the evidence that it actually happened, or that it is ongoing. It's still happening. Do you know what I'm saying? So evidence and motive are two different things. And I'm just pointing that out as something that, maybe in the future we're going to ask, like, why would they lie kind of thing. We don't have to necessarily get into the motive as to, okay, Crow, this is the reason why they did it. Like, we don't have to. Because if you see the evidence that supports the case that it is, absolutely not correct, then you don't have to see the evidence or the motive, because you've seen the evidence, right? Does that make sense?
Job actually said something interesting about that, where
Okay.
because they're hiding the fact that there actually is a creator.
Sure.
But
I mean, yeah, we
because
could.
the
I mean, I was just
information would be
alluding to it.
Yeah, you could get into there's
One-
many
one
different
of many.
avenues, right? Yeah,
There's
one of it.
theories of the information of where the world came from. There's theories that people, the government are hiding that from the public because the information is so large and too much to handle that it would just make us all go crazy or something. It sounds stupid, but
yeah, well,
it
there's some
could be true.
there's some crazy ideas out there, Crow, as to why they would do it. But the thing is, we can get into that, but it's kind of a bunny trail, right? Like, we'll be on different avenues of thinking of speculation of why they would do it. But the main the main focus is that we have to get people to understand that it actually is false. That's the important bit that we should all talk about. Because if it is false, then why are we even believing such a thing? So yeah, if there's any questions that you have pertaining that, because we have some information we'd like to hand you, like absolutely something you can test and repeat and verify for yourself.
Yeah.
It's nice to know you're on the same page in that you don't think the governments of the world are telling us the truth. So
Oh
if they're
God,
not telling us the truth. Right, so they're definitely lying
As
about
much
a
as
great many things, right? Why would they lie? Why would they
as
tell us
much
the
as
truth
I
about this?
go on about the Earth is round, I don't like the government. I know they're definitely hiding something.
But they're the ones
It's
telling
the
you it's
government.
round. They tell
I
you it's
know
round.
it's weird. I know
They,
it's really
they
weird. I'm like
mandate your
believing them,
parents
but I'm hating them at the same time.
in school.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like how that happens?
Yeah.
Can I
So-
throw in something quick on about the Antarctica thing? His age question.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Just wondering if you're aware that. What if I told you there was a treaty signed by over like 50 countries now? Am I right? It's been in effect for like over 40 years, and not one of those countries have violated, as far as we know. Are you aware of that?
I am not now.
It was a treaty drawn up in the late 50s when they first started exploring up there, allegedly.
Yeah, if
And
you guys have any information on that, post it in live stream to voice text so that Crow can actually take a look at that.
Yeah, that's Operation High Jump, isn't it?
That's part of it, but what I'm talking
or
about
the
is the treaty itself.
Yeah, or the Antarctic Treaty, the actual website, because it does have a website, doesn't it?
Gov.
But anyway, real quick, all these countries agreed to.
Got me down this rabbit hole to realize it was flat. Once you realize that they won't allow you to check where, and people say, "Won't you fall off the edge?" Well, isn't it convenient that they literally bar you from going to go check the edge in both directions?
That's what I was going to say. All these countries agreed to make Antarctica off limits to the general public exploration. That's all I was going to say. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, it's definitely something to look at, Crow. If you're looking at some of the information as far as like why we can't travel south in any direction, well, that's the reason, because Antarctica is a protected land according to all the countries that signed the treaty.
I'll say one thing. This is not what I expected to be doing on a Thursday night.
yeah. It took you by storm. Well, actually, maybe not even what you were thinking about doing when you came into the server. You probably thought you were gonna.
Like honestly, I'm not a person that would do debates often, and I know this isn't a debate, but like I'm not a very philosophical person. But it's interesting. It's really weird to talk about, and it's like I want to talk about it because it's interesting to see how other people think.
Do you ever think that we woke up thinking one day we were going to be a flat earther?
Yeah, I was going to tell.
I was Neil Armstrong in 6th grade for Dress Up Like a Famous Person, right?
Well,
the fact that I'm here is.
Yeah, I know. I was going to ask Crow. It's like, well, what do you think is unfolding in your mind, like throughout this conversation? Because it seems like maybe a different perspective. You're getting a glance at that, like maybe something you weren't thinking about before, and now it's like. Well,
the one thing that I'm thinking about the most is that, is that I don't know. It could be this, it could be that. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm breathing, I'm living.
Sure.
I don't mean to poke holes in any type of belief, but at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah, that's
but I
fair.
respect it. I respect, I'm atheist, but I respect people that believe in God, because it's nice to have beliefs. It's nice to believe in something, because if you didn't believe in anything, you're basically really, really sad.
Oh.
But we all have to believe in something.
Interesting. I think that's interesting that you point out that we have to believe in something when answering the question how the Earth got here. You either have to believe that someone created it, or you have to believe that it sprang into existence by itself. Yeah, exactly. So it sprang into existence all by itself. Now, those two choices are called the ontological primitive. Now, you've only got those two choices when you're answering how the Earth was created. However, when the Earth is not obviously a spinning ball in space, then we can, rule out that it was created by a Big Bang. So then when you understand the Earth is flat and stationary, and then re-ask the question, how did the Earth get here? Well, was it created, or did it spring into existence by itself for no apparent reason whatsoever?
You know what's weird about that? Is that, how do we know that there's actually not a third option, or a fourth option, or a fifth option?
Then you'd have to give it, because ultimately this is a theological question that's been asked for thousands of years, and it comes down to, it's either something created it, or it created itself. If there was another option, then it's been failed to be given so far. That's why it's called a dichotomy.
Right.
Now, people going about, well, it couldn't have just come out of nowhere. Where did God come from? If he was the dude that made this place, where did he come from?
Yeah.
That's a
What was
different
before
question,
That
though,
would
right?
be an
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that has
yeah.
nothing to do with
That's-
Earth,
Right.
but
Right.
Crow.
Well, so we're getting to the point where you're actually looking at the ontological primitive, what Jedi just talked about. So when you see that it's either nature created itself, or that a creator created it, then you have the two the dichotomy between them. So now which one are you going to choose, because one is right and one is wrong, obviously.
you just never know.
Well,
The one I've always went with is that we came from a big
That's
bang.
right. So
That's why I wanted to. Sorry,
Yeah,
Megan.
you go
That's
ahead,
why I
man.
wanted to point out the belief. Sorry, buddy.
No, yeah.
That's why I wanted to point out the belief, because I wanted to circle it, because the belief is in the thing that cannot be demonstrated, and that is things springing into existence for no apparent reason, then creating information for what God knows what. The only thing that can be demonstrated when something is created is something creating it. So scientifically, demonstratively, it's logical to conclude that you need a creator to create things, because you can't and have never demonstrated the opposite.
So one side has
Not
evidence,
there.
the other side is more of a belief system. Sorry, Fuzzy.
No, I just wanted to say, Crow. I posted that an Antarctica video in the chat there, and watch it quick, because it's a mirrored channel of something that's been taken down.
Was it taboo conspiracy?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Hey, Crow, did you say you believe in the Big Bang Theory?
They've
Sorry.
taken down other ones. That's why it's mirrored. I'm just saying, like, they are actively trying to take this information down off the internet. Watch it quick, because they might take it down any day. Sorry, go ahead.
This was sent out 10 months ago.
Well, other ones have been taken down. That's why they have to be mirrored, because these people are actively trying to censor, flat Earth. Why aren't they trying to censor Bigfoot videos, right? Why are they trying to censor anything else? Why just flat Earth? That's weird, huh?
Well, why I think they're doing that, not necessarily because it's actually real and they're like, oh shit, people know, but because, again, it's that large amount of information that might scare people to be like, oh, what if it is? Oh, my life is ruined now. Government are probably thinking, well, they're sharing that information, which might intimidate some people. Let's just get rid of it.
Or what about
That's what I
aliens?
think.
Can
Aliens,
you
I
tell
don't believe in
me?
aliens.
Can you tell me one time that the government told us the truth without nefarious backdoor dealings behind the curtain?
And again, the government,
Just one
I don't know.
time. One
Uh,
time.
One time they told us something that was truthful. I know.
We're going
You need
up.
to pay your rent, otherwise we kick you out. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. If you don't pay your rent, you will get kicked
If
out.
you kill someone, you will be sent to prison.
Right, but let's put these people in charge of telling us where we come from and where we're going in the future, and let's definitely give them $60 million a day to give us cartoons.
What's really confused me is, how does one get into the government? Like, how does one do an office job in an FBI building?
It's mostly compartmentalized and departmentalized anyway.
Are they all
So
just
it's really
lizard
just reaching
people,
out.
or do they have to be born
God,
into
no,
it?
this is how they get people to do it, right? I was just saying this earlier today. When people say, "Well, my uncle works at a factory that built the ZX wingnut for the space station," so you thinking he's a lizard person who's lying in and he's in on it from
Oh no,
from whatever?
I use lizard people as a joke. I don't actually believe it.
Of course, I know exactly what you're doing, but that's exactly what people would say, right? And because he's not in on it, well, that's exactly the point. All he did was make a wingnut. That's cool.
You know
But
what's
if they hire,
weird?
if they send that out to thousands of different factories all over the place, that means that everybody is only once or twice removed from someone who built the wingnut for the space station. That doesn't mean that they went to space or can verify that space is real, or that people are going there, or that they're telling the truth about anything. All they did was make a wingnut, and it's
There's this
departmentalized. It's all in our mind.
There's this I know this is gonna sound out of context right now, but it actually isn't. There's this woman in my college class, and all the time she's going on about the government, like saying that she keeps getting blacklisted, they're like hacking into her phone and stuff. But the way she says it, she sounds, and I'm not trying to be mean, but she sounds like a schizophrenic. Like she's always paranoid. Now, the government's not meant to have that effect on someone like that, but it makes me think, have they actually done something to her to make her be that way?
Some
You know
people
what I mean?
just some people
they
just
absolutely could.
they get paranoid though. I mean, some people. Okay, so if you're listening to a bunch of things, let's say on the internet, anybody can say whatever they want, right? We all know this to be true. Anybody can get on the internet, make a YouTube video about anything,
Oh
and
yeah,
really rile some people up and be like, "Oh
that's
man,"
what I said
like,
before.
right?
Like
But
with today's technology, you can make anything.
right, so there
Right,
is
but it
on
takes
the other side of the
government to
coin, there
mandate
would
Let me
be
just finish
things. On the other side of the coin, there would be that information that is true. So you'd have the information that's true, and then you have the information that anybody else can just make a video or talk about, and sounds like it's true. But the information maybe that she knows could be, some of it could be true. Like, I mean, we can't just dismiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know
Yeah,
it
could be
sounds
true,
that way.
but
It sounds that
just
way
silly
because
to me.
how she's trying to present it. So
Yeah.
you might be like, "Oh, come on," but we do know things that people understand, that your phone can be tapped, or not your phone, but your these devices that people have in their homes nowadays. The Google.
She she also goes on about mind control.
Okay.
And
Right.
we were on a session because it's a music class, and we were talking about tinnitus, however you say it. I've never really understood the proper way to say it. And what she said about that was, it's not because you listen to loud music. She said, what if it's the government trying to fry our brains? And I was like,
oh, I don't know about that. I just know that there's certain frequencies that can actually capture your mind to actually be in a different mental state. Like if you listen to a certain song, you know how it makes you feel. Like listening to certain frequencies of music can alter your brainwave functions. That is known to be true. Like people actually looked into
it's scary to think
They
about.
also have weaponized certain frequencies and in different what do you want to call them, electromagnetic frequencies directionally to scatter crowds and to, it's called the active denial system. They have weaponized. That's just what they tell us about, right? They have things that can do these things that would otherwise be known as science fiction, right?
Yeah.
So there could be some
and
truth to what she
to
knows. So, I mean, but then again, like how it's presented, that's another thing. I mean, if she sounded really kooky about how she's presenting the information to you, then of course that's how it'll come off to you. But if you actually maybe research it a little bit, you'll probably see a little bit of truth to it too. So all I'm saying is that before you just dismiss it, maybe kind of give it a look, see if it's not.
Yeah, I've been a very dismissive person when it comes to things that sound stupid to me. I've been like, what?
Right.
No, shut up. It's
well, think about this.
I'd say what. All right, go on, really. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Jedi.
Does hypnotism sound abnormal to you?
It's weird because you see people doing it on the street and they go 1, 2, 3, you will go pass out, and the person that's just approached them, not a part of the situation, actually goes. You're like, are they actually a part of the act, or did that actually work? Because that's weird. But to me, I do not believe in hypnotism. Yeah,
I've been hypnotized, so I know about hypnotism, and yeah, it works. The power of suggestion, right? Even sales and marketing putting images on the TV and repeating the same information all the time. These are things that just either can hypnotize us or just sway our opinion. Now, understanding the human psyche is something that people have done for hundreds of years. It gets kind of brought into this idea of like black magic, right? Sigil magic. It's at a distance. Basically, it's how to control people at a distance, get them to do what you want them to do without actually physically manipulating them. So these different types of techniques can be, like we just pointed out, they can be suggestion, they can be hypnotism, and on a much deeper scale, it can be fragmentation of personalities, and that can be done with trauma and terror and things like these. So the human psyche is very easily broken down. The point to this is we are easily programmable. This is why, not why, but why TV programs are called TV programs, and why when we're born, we just suck up information, like sponges, because that's what we're supposed to do. The thing is, if you're the first person there giving us the first piece of information, that's our base programming, because we're really easy to program in.
Yeah, if you were born and not given any of this information, you'd be like a zombie, wouldn't you? But a zombie that is free of the knowledge, kind of.
Yeah.
No, we would just be more. We would be more inquisitive.
I suppose, but
we would pay attention more. We would study more. We would listen more as opposed to speak more.
At the end of the day, I've always said what the government do to us as soon as we're born, it's just not fair. They go on about, consent is important. I know we were babies, and we can't really, give an answer properly, yes or no. But, we didn't ask to be, we didn't ask for these rules. We didn't ask to, abide. So, why do we have to?
Yeah.
Well, they indoctrinated. They
figure out. Sorry.
They indoctrinated you.
Because when you figure out. Go on, Elbreak. I'm interrupted you.
No, sorry. No, I was just saying that pretty much they taught you to obey all these rules. That's what school's for.
Yeah.
And the reason why it continues is when you find out and you don't do anything about it.
I mean, this is going to sound really stupid again. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just a very stupid person. But why do you think in the old Western times there are outlaws? Outlaws, people who didn't abide by the rules. They did whatever they wanted. They killed, they robbed, they stole, they broke people's hearts because they wanted to. They didn't want to listen to the government. And what did all of them do at the end? They died. They got killed by the government. And then that era ended because of the government.
Well, yeah. If you think
that's what they teach you.
Lies about. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
but at the end of the day, who wins?
Well, the government wins, usually, always.
Exactly.
But the same people who are telling us lies about the way the Earth is are also telling us lies about the way history worked. The very nature of everything is that up for grabs at this point. We have to rediscover or research everything again.
I don't trust doing research online.
This is what this is just called predictive programming, man. They program you to think that government always wins. This is a thing, and especially you don't understand that the people in government are people just like you. So and all they're doing, you're giving power to the man that's giving power to the man because the man is the one controlling you. But anyways, let's go back to flat Earth. I mean, we could talk about this forever. This is a big rabbit hole.
That's what we were talking about.
Let's talk about gas pressure without a container. I don't know if y'all want to cover that already. Jedi, you want to take?
Actually, I had one question I wanted to ask him before y'all get into that, if you don't care. Crow, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Dave.
Did you go through, you don't have to give me the details, but you go through, the regular government schooling system, basically?
Oh, yeah. Whatever they teach us. Okay. Most of the shit they teach us in high school is useless. Right?
Well, right now, it kind of puts you on the spot a little bit. But you think back to when you actually were taught that you were on a globe and do you remember any facts they might have presented at the time? And did you have any questions? Do you remember being a kid and seeing the globe in the classroom? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. And what were your thoughts about it? That disconnect. Shit.
Muted for a second, buddy.
Did he get the question?
Oh, did you hear that question? I don't think he's there.
Yeah.
Crow, you
Crow.
there? Yes, no.
Man, I scare him off. My bad, I'll shut up.
I don't think so, buddy. I think that's just Discord being a git.
Yeah, I think he's got a disconnect problem or something. Or maybe he's just AFK. Who knows?
His light just flashed, but no sound.
I was just gonna tell him he seems genuine and he's actually coming here with an open mind. I want to give him props for that. You know?
Yeah, there was maybe 2 other people that were with him that were kind of a bit more dismissive. Oh, there you went. Yeah.
There's a guy called Webmaster.
Hey,
He's just got voice.
I was like in the middle of a sentence too, and Discord just decided to disconnect me.
Yeah.
Where
Continue what you
did
were
I
saying,
stop
bro.
talking?
Mickey, you've gone really quiet for some reason. You sound really distant.
Did you hear the whole question? I was just asking about how you.
No, I heard the question and I answered it, but it
Okay.
just disconnected me.
Yeah, we didn't
Where
hear
did
any
I
of your
stop
answers.
talking?
So go ahead. Sorry.
Did I not even answer? Did it not let me answer?
No, we didn't hear any of your answer.
Basically, I'll sum it up. Since I was, in primary, which would be what's the word that you use in America?
Middle school?
No.
Elementary?
I think yeah.
Elementary, right?
Since then, up to middle school and to high school and to college, I've always believed that the Earth was round, circle, because that's what I was taught. That's what has been implanted in my mind, and I honestly don't see myself believing the other side. No matter how many people say, "Well, we've got evidence, we've got this, we've got that." That's in my mind now, and I don't think that's going. No matter, even if I wanted to believe in a flat Earth, I don't think that's going to go anywhere.
That's a great answer.
But
Already sounds a bit defeatist.
I've
You know,
always
it is
said to
possible.
myself,
It's
I'd
possible.
rather believe what I see than what I read, because I've seen the Earth as a circle. I've never seen a picture of the Earth as flat. I've only ever seen it.
Every single picture you've seen of Earth has been of being flat.
Well, maybe,
Never
but
seen it being round. Was it you earlier who said when you see a picture of Earth cut in half so you can see the exposed core?
no, I'm not on about that.
But I'm just saying, someone said that earlier. No one's ever seen a picture like that. That's only been
But
an
people have dug
illustration.
down. People
No,
have
they've
got
dug down
massive
7
drills.
miles. 7 miles.
Yeah.
That's not even through the crust. And they were
Well, how
wrong
did they
every
figure
100
out?
feet.
How did they find out about the core then?
Well,
But I mean, it is possible for you to change your mind. If anyone couldn't, I absolutely, I was into every conspiracy you can think of, and thought that flat Earth was the stupidest thing I've ever even this dumbest thing I've ever even thought of.
I'm just a very stubborn person.
And it's ridiculous.
And Crow, just to make a distinction here quickly, you have never seen a photograph, or you may have, but you haven't seen a photograph of a round Earth. You've only ever seen images, just like I've seen images of unicorns. Right? You can search
videos of the Earth.
Yeah.
From a shuttle.
Can you? Okay, that's when we have to go into the next argument and debunk that actual medium that your shuttle's supposedly in.
All right then. Okay. What about
Well,
the videos of the people in space where you can see them floating around? That must
Okay,
be some
let's-
really
let's-
good string work. If
We
like,
covered-
Let's have
even
a-
that's-
Yeah, before Globus, I just want to give you some context. We went over the 3 points, which he understands that it's just a belief. So now it's
Okay.
it's his mind just trying to reaffirm his belief that he's trying to have. Isn't that right, Crow?
My mind's dead at this point.
So that's all it is, Globus. We
Okay.
went over the 3 points, so he's just reaffirming what he believes. So it's not that he's starting from scratch or anything. He understands. He just believes it.
I'm interested
Okay.
in both sides, honestly. I'm stuck on my side, but I'm interested on the other. But I'm probably not going to be on that side. If you get
Can
what
I
mean.
destroy your belief quickly, and I'll give you a scenario that you should be able to
Oh, yeah,
comprehend quite easily.
Destroy-
Destroy your belief in space, like mine was destroyed, for example. So,
Go
for
on.
example, what El Barico said before was he mentioned before Dave's question. He said gas pressure without a container. Mentioned it quickly. So essentially, the argument is here that we breathe gas pressure. 14.7 psi. This can be measured with a barometer. It's not contested at all. So in order to have this gas pressure, the necessary antecedent needs to be a container, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You agree?
I mean, I suppose.
Okay, so the globe model doesn't have a container to keep the gas pressure in. It's adjacent to a vacuum. And to give you a
I've
quick
always
scenario
thought,
of this,
like, the
yeah,
force
sorry.
field we have around the Earth counted as like a container, because if that wasn't there, we wouldn't be able to breathe.
But a
Because of-
force field, what force field though?
Well, you know how the Earth has that. Well, when you look at a picture of Earth, it has that glow around it.
No.
Like there's layers until you get to space.
Yeah, layers of gas.
Yeah, that's gas,
Hold on, let me
dude.
get a picture. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We're talking about a
Let's
physical
put it-
container here.
Yeah.
Space.
There's no container, otherwise we're not sending rockets to the moon. Otherwise they'd crash into it.
And the scenario
Sorry,
I was going to
Globus,
give you.
mate, carry
No,
on.
you're right. The scenario I wanted to give him was for example, the gas chamber scenario. Execution. Not that it's used much more these days, but it still is. Would you be willing to be an executioner, right? If there was no chamber there, all right, and the perpetrator was there, but you were in the same. There'd still be a container of some sort because you'd be in a room, right? But I mean, the actual gas chamber would be, missing. The apparatus. Would you be willing to be in the same room with a guy? And if not, why not?
If I was the executioner,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he was the bad guy, I'd probably want to be in the same room.
You wouldn't want to be in the same room, right? Because there's no chamber to what?
I'm very confused. Are you on about chamber like a cell, or
A gas chamber. You know what a gas chamber is? Like
yeah.
for an execution.
Right. No, I want to be out of that room.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You
I
wouldn't want to be
the
in the
one
room,
pressing the
right?
button.
Exactly. If there's no chamber there to
Right,
hold the gas
okay.
back, would you want to be in the room with the dude?
God, you guys make me feel like I'm 2 again. All right.
Definitely not, right? Your answer was correct because there's nothing to do what to the gas.
It won't be able to kill me if I'm outside of the room.
That's it, right? Well, if there's no chamber, the gas is just going to spread out and kill you because you'll be in the same room with the dude, right?
Want to know why I'm still gonna be like, no, the Earth is round? It's because no matter which one I choose, I can't decide properly because I'm never gonna be able to prove it. I don't think anyone can. And I know I've said this before.
That's the
You've
thing.
got really
Sorry,
good
I've
evidence.
really got to interrupt. Yeah, that's the thing. You can physically demonstrate this. All of the flat Earth, non-moving, space being fake claims are demonstratable. What is not physically demonstrate? It's Earth curvature, motion, and space being a vacuum. That's not physically demonstratable. But what is the Earth being stationary and the Earth being level. That is physically demonstrable. It's not
What?
a belief that we have, right? In just some ideas. It's because you can test this for yourself, and it is true.
Someone needs to get on a boat and just start from one end to go to the other. I swear. See what happens.
Antarctic Treaty.
Quick
You'll
question
get
again, Crow.
stopped. The Antarctic Treaty.
Yeah,
Back
Yeah,
Did you
well,
understand?
you know, they could do a live stream, a sacrifice, just to prove it.
Finish talking to these
What's
guys
that
about space.
gonna
You
do?
wouldn't even have to go end to end. You wouldn't have to. You know why?
Why?
Shit, you guys filming?
Because this is all you would have to do. All you would have to do is go to Antarctica and see what you run into. You don't have to go from end to end.
So,
Wait, hold on. Do you guys
Not
believe
really.
in the sun, right?
oh my god.
No,
What do you
listen.
mean, do we believe in the sun?
Well, the sun's a part of space, isn't it?
The sun's in the sky. What they claim the sun to be, the size and distance and where it resides, is a lie. But I
If
don't make
we
any
are in
claim,
a
and we don't
dome,
make any
or
claim to what the sun is.
if we're in a case, right? What would the sun be?
A lie in the sky.
Where's the light switch?
We wouldn't know, dude.
Where's the light switch?
It's
How
This
got
is
does
there.
turning
that
into a bit of a
light
trolly conversation.
melt
Now.
snow?
Because it's hot.
Oh my
It's
god.
okay. I know you're kind of spiraling a little bit, bro. So
No, right.
ask the question
If
again.
it's
A
just
little
a
more
light,
logical.
how can it melt snow?
A small local heat source. Come on, dude.
A small local heat. No.
Yeah, maybe
So the
smaller
thing is,
and closer
you have
than
a
what you think.
conception. So the whole thing is you have a conception still with the globe that the sun is super huge and about 93 million miles away. But
Hot days,
you know,
like,
you can't
what, did they just
actually.
turn up the amp on the light? Like,
Well, I mean, what the sun does or how does it work? Nobody knows. Not even your heliocentric model knows. They have assumptions and things that they can't prove. They haven't even tested it. There's no scientific evidence. I mean, scientific experiment that they have done on the sun. So how are you going
who
to
knows?
tell me
Maybe
what it is?
last month there didn't Korea land on the sun. Maybe they have.
Oh yeah, they landed at night.
Yeah.
what about the moon then? What is that, another light?
What about it? Yeah. See, this is where we're going to be very specific, right? We can't make any claim to what they are, size, distance, or where they reside. Right? Don't know what they physically, or if they physically are anything.
Now
But we can
that's
just look at them.
confused
There's
me.
the moon. Well, what else could I do? I can only be like you and stand on the ground and observe it. I can't touch it. I can't go to it. I can't get round the backside of it. I can just look at it. I've
Can
never
you
seen
touch
anything
the
else
case
like
we're
it
in?
before. No, but I
So
have
how do you know
gas
it's there?
pressure because I have gas pressure. The necessary antecedent to gas pressure is the container you put the gas in. If you do not have a container for the gas to press against, the gas will not have pressure. That's why it's called pressure, because it needs to press on something. If it's devoid of that antecedent of the container, you won't keep the gas there and you won't have any pressure. So
Well,
we
if
have
we were in a
gas that's here and it's
container,
pressurized.
if we were in a container and that sun, quote unquote, light is burning through, you know, giving us light, wouldn't that mean it'd be day everywhere?
No. Have you ever picked up a light from the floor and noticed it only illuminates a certain portion of the floor? You can lift it up, lower it and higher it, and you'll have more dispersal of the light. If you take that light somewhere, you will also illuminate another portion of the surface that you're over, leaving that other bit that you were over in darkness. You have moved a light before, right?
Well, the light from the moon then. The light
What about
from the
it?
moon comes from the sun. The moon doesn't glow. It
Does
only
it?
glows because of the sun.
Does
Yeah.
it? that's a bit of an assumption, though, right? Because all of a sudden we're back in space with the sun being 93 million miles away, the Earth being a ball, and the moon being a solid object, and the light from the sun reflecting off of that now solid object, the moon. You don't know any of this, and you're saying it's in space, which can
No
demonstrate
one
to
knows
be
any
not
of
true.
this. That's what I've been saying. No one knows.
Yeah. And we're not making claims to it. We're telling you what it cannot be. What we're told it is that cannot be true. But you just went to me and said the light that we see is because on the moon is because of the sun. You've got no way of verifying that.
Well, the government's gonna need some fucking big ass wires if they're gonna turn that light on. Because Jesus.
Yeah,
again,
no one said
so-
the government put the light there. See, that's an sorry there, Brie. Can you carry on?
No,
I'm losing
yeah,
my
no,
patience.
yeah. Go ahead. So this thing, you're kind of strawmanning what we're saying because you're trying to say that we're saying there's probably wires to it or some shit. But
That's what a light is.
No,
You can't have light
we don't know
without
what the sun. That's the thing is.
fire.
Yeah, you
We
ever
don't know
use a
what
glow
sun
stick, you idiot?
A glow stick, yeah,
So-
but it's not a glow stick. is
Yeah,
it?
where's the
'Cause-
plug?
Also, you know
So you
that
can't have
okay,
light
it's
without
okay,
a
Don't
cord.
it's
belittle
okay,
me. I'm
it's
just
okay.
saying.
No, but you see, your logic right now is being very
Because I
erratic.
don't know
Uh,
two shits about.
Nobody knows about what the sun
Exactly.
is. That's what we. Okay, so we don't focus on things we can't tangibly touch. You know, we can't. It's intangible to us. We can't experiment on it, so we stay away from that. They tell you, you know, you have an axiom of what they tell you because of what you see in the sky. In other words, your idea of what you're standing on is because they tell you, look, you see the stars and suns. No, they're not moving. We're moving. That's what you think is happening. Now, if we don't focus on the sky because you can't touch it, you can't go there, and what they tell you cannot be true because they haven't been there. Now we focus on Earth. Natural science has to do, you know, with our physical Earth. Whatever phenomena we see, we could test, experiment on it, meaning they have a hypothesis and we test it, and therefore we know the facts, whether something is the cause of the effect we see. So,
Hey, could you hold on a minute? I gotta go in my backyard and plug in my fireflies.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
See-
tell him.
Yeah, I guess he
that
just
was-
thought that we were saying the government made the lights or something.
Well,
I
it's the government controls everything, isn't it? Why wouldn't they control the light?
El Borico was
If
trying to
they're
make
the
a
one
point.
that made the dome,
Oh, wait, nobody said that,
no. This is getting exactly. This is getting into very ridiculous territory. It's not
Well,
even
they're
a
saying
fucking
we're
straw
in
man at this point.
something.
It's just make it Yeah.
but
The Earth.
the government
We
make
live
it,
on
or
the
were they
Earth
just
up
here
until
before us and go, oh, well, that's there.
No. Listen, don't do a lot of listening. So you've only got two choices when you're answering a question how the Earth got here. It was either created or it created itself. This is why people talk about God. Right? It doesn't matter about their religious traditions and what they conceive deities' opinions and ideas and theologies are, but ultimately the necessary antecedent of a creator to create something. So we're not talking about the government hanging the light up in the sky and turning it on so we can pay money. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the Earth and what it is and how it got here. What it is flat and stationary. How it got here, well, probably created. No man put a sky dome in the sky.
It sounds too elaborate to me. I'm just back at square one.
Yeah, well, the Earth's flat and stationary. It isn't going anywhere.
It sounds
can't
too
exist.
elaborate that we're flat in something.
Have
It would be
you ever experienced curvature with your own eyes?
No, but I don't have to.
All right then. But this is, you're giving us a story that's outside of all of our reasonable senses.
I'm not giving
No
a
one
story.
experiences a ball that moving. Well, it is all of the appeals to authority. It's the story. We all know what the story is.
How
Earth is
was
a ball
the
spinning
weather?
in space. The point is,
What?
If we're in something, where does the weather come from?
Well, the Earth is
The
a
gas
dynamic
that's already
system.
here. Yeah, the gas that's already here, and how does the heat from the sun influence the weather? High and low pressures and temperature differential over different temperatures and variations of topography.
Where did the gas come
And you
from?
want to know why the wind moves. Oh my god!
Where did the gas come from? How did the gas get in the case?
I got a question for you. Where did you come from?
Where did I come from?
Yeah.
My mum's vagina.
Where did people? Where did people come from? Where did animals come from?
They came
Where did
from
trees come
the
from?
sea.
Where did water come from? Where did rocks come from? Where did the gas that you breathe come from? And why do things go up and down? Why is the sun in the sky? I don't know. We're just here. This is what reality is. But testing reality, it's not a ball that's spinning in space. Can't be that. If it was, we'd be able to measure it to be true. We don't measure any curvature, we don't measure any motion, and we can't demonstrate in any way, shape, or form stopping gas going into a vacuum without a physical container and then demonstrating gas pressure without that container.
Maybe the
It's
government are just not bothered to prove it. I mean, they've got better things to do, like steal our money.
What do you think they're doing with NASA?
And NASA, what have they proved?
NASA
I've
is
been
the
told
government.
they've proven teleportation. That can't
What?
be right. Yeah,
it's all
I've been
stories, to be honest. It's just all stories.
told that they made an apple go from one place to another, but it just came out mushed. It's stupid. So, if you don't believe that, what makes
Well, there's
you...
no evidence to support that, so why would I believe it?
And I don't see any evidence to support that space isn't real.
What?
Well, you cannot have gas pressure without a container.
You
You cannot stop gas from dispersing into a vacuum. Well, this is your story. Space is a
where does this
vacuum.
come from?
We're breathing.
Where's the gas thing originated from?
What, the stuff that we're breathing?
No. Where's it come from? Where's this idea come from? Who was the first person to say? Who was the first person to say we're in something?
What natural
and
law?
gas is the gas pressure.
We're just dealing with natural law.
Yeah, but who's the first person to prove that?
For
What
what?
do you mean? What
Who
natural
was the first
law?
person to say we are in something and it's gas pressure that is in the thing with us, and that's what's controlling everything, the weather?
Yeah.
Who proved that?
No, it's just a logical observation. You need a container for gas pressure to exist.
But who was the first person to make that logical observation?
I don't know.
To
Probably the
share
first
it with the rest
person to
of the
see
world?
what gas pressure was.
Hold on.
How do you know he was
We're
telling the
dealing
truth?
with entropy. Hold on. Because we're dealing with entropy. This is a natural law that happens in this direction always. No, it's
Anyone
not
can
the
tell
thing.
a lie.
No,
It's words.
because it's practically displayed always. If you leave a hot cup of coffee, listen. If you have a hot cup of coffee and leave it alone, will it get cold?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's entropy. Hot goes to cold. If you burst a balloon with higher pressure inside, will the higher pressure inside go outside when you burst a balloon?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's entropy. That's the natural law. That's what we're talking about. Something that always happens. It always happens in this direction, as in cold doesn't go to hot, and low pressure doesn't go into high pressure. Doesn't go that way. So we're dealing with the arrow of entropy. It always happens this way. It's a practical natural law.
But you're saying coffee goes cold when left. A balloon explodes when the gas escapes.
Yeah.
And that guy proved that the world will end when the gas escapes that.
What?
No, we didn't.
I can't talk.
Otherwise, we'd be dead.
What are you talking about?
So what happens when
you're on about entropy?
Yeah. Listen. What happens if I pop a balloon? What happens to the air?
Right, no, you're not. Listen, he proved that But that's things on Earth. Did he prove that's what would happen to Earth if something broke whatever we're in?
No, because
No.
we have no idea that outer space is a vacuum. We're saying it's not. What you see out there, that blackness, could be something totally different. It could be solid black glass as far as we know. You have no clue of what's there. No one's ever been there. No one on the face of the earth. You can't say what outer space is, but we can say it's not a emptiness, a vacuum against an air pressure system of Earth, even if it was flat or round or however you want to put the shape of the Earth. If there, you don't have gas sticking around a surface when there's a vacuum next to it. That's what's impossible anywhere.
NASA wouldn't spend that much money to make a fake rocket to go up and then secretly disappear.
Why not, sir? Listen. If they get say they get $50 million a day just to make it easy, right?
Right.
And they get that every day since 1960, 59, 60 or whatever, whenever they started the program. So let's say to keep the people happy, they buy some CDI just they build a couple bottle rockets. They show you this rocket out there. Say this rocket costs $500 million. Well, that's a couple weeks' pay for them. They put out a good TV show for you. So
why are they doing this though? Why? What's the point? Why couldn't they just say, "Oh
why
yeah, you're all living in this"?
Why do you need to know why they do it?
Because
they're
why
doing
would
it
they
to
need to
hide
hide
that this place is created is the simple answer.
So?
Because you only have the two choices. It was either created or happened by accident.
Affect me.
And they sure seem to want to portray the happen by accident thing, that is a big bang and all this and that. They don't want to say that, hey, you know, that you're important and this place was made for you and you're here for a reason.
If someone told me right now, someone from the government proved to me, like really proved to me, made me see that we're living in a glass case, honestly,
No one said glass case.
Alright, fucking, I don't know, case.
If the government tells you,
it doesn't have to be any type of a case. It could just go to coldness. How do we know that it isn't just the government?
Whatever it is, if it just goes to coldness, then it's not a case, then is it?
No, it doesn't have to be. That's what we're saying. We don't know what it is, and we don't know what the blackness is that's above it that we see. All we see is black. But there's lots of things that we see as black, and it's you know, not a vacuum.
The sky blue then?
The atmosphere, the upper atmosphere looks blue when the light is shining through it. It also changes colors when the sun's coming in and out. Like there's neon,
yellow.
xenon, and inert gases
yellow?
up there that are super cold.
Probably water.
And how would a black sky make it look blue during the day?
Reflected off of the sky.
What?
What's reflected off the sky?
Water.
Right.
The water sticking to the spinning ball.
No. Don't even entertain that. That's just the last troll question. Yeah, that's the last troll question.
You would see continents in the sky.
No, I don't think he's trolling.
Seriously, the sky's blue because it reflects the light off of the sea. So why is the sky not green when it goes over the land then? Why is it not yellow when it goes over the desert? And why is it not white when it passes over the snow? Come on. If you want to play with the troll, you can have at him.
I wasn't saying that. You completely flipped it around. I was saying the ocean is blue because it's reflecting off of the blue sky.
What? Okay, now I don't know.
The sky's blue. The sky's blue. The water has no color. Because of the sky's blue, water has a reflection. The reflection is reflecting the sky. Therefore,
why is it blue
the reflection of the blue sky makes the water look blue.
Okay, where the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean meet out there, there's this line. How come we're this line where the two different saline things meet? Why are the oceans two different colors in the same spot?
I don't know. I've never been
I do
there.
have photographic evidence of this.
Nice crow question real quick. Can you think back like an hour ago when you established that all this stuff that you're defending right now is just your belief? Can you just at least ask yourself why you're doing it if you're being sincere at all? I'll shut up.
I'm not defending.
And here's a picture of the Atlantic and the Pacific. Which one is reflecting what? Is there like a line up in the sky where it's dark blue on one side and green on the other side? Where's that? How's that happen right there?
Clouds.
That's two oceans meeting, and they don't mix because they're different. The different salt concentrations in both.
Clouds.
There's a physical line of where this ocean meets.
Gold, I think you put it in the other live stream text.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, somebody else put a picture up there
We're
too.
gonna see what Google says. Why is ocean blue?
Yeah, they don't mix and they stay like that, and one's green and one's blue on one side. So how could that? And look at the sky. The sky's all blue. How could that happen if the water's clear and it's reflecting the sky?
Fucking hell. People dump that much shit in the water. It's probably changing the colour. I don't.
No, that's from
I don't know.
that's coming from the land from a delta.
Oil.
No, that's a thing that's always happening. It's not from an oil spill or anything like that.
Yeah, literally, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans
I
meet,
mean,
and there's
think
a
of how
line
many
where they
fish are
meet.
in the sea. They shit and piss all the time. That might change the colour.
Again, this conversation's going really slowly and nowhere. There are a few other people in the room that I could possibly unmute if you guys want me to do that. Maybe this conversation's come to a logical end and now we're just fighting bollocks.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, Bearable, you're in here. I hope you're still in here. Let's see if we can find you. I've given you voice verified and I've unmuted your microphone. So, Bearable, if you wanted to get involved in the conversation, you've got control of your microphone.
About the the merging of the two colors not happening, it's because it could be of chemicals from the land, it could be from plants under the water. It's not always the reflection, it's you see it blue from the sky because you're not going to be able to see different colors all the way from a satellite unless you zoom in. So
we're just looking at it right here.
Can't believe we proved Earth curve right there.
You got 4 different pictures of it, 2 different colors.
Wait, where'd you put it?
In the live stream,
live stream. Yeah, it's not from the satellite. It's like up close and personal, man.
So and that proves the Earth is flat. How?
No, it just proves that it's not reflecting the color, like you're saying.
It wasn't in him. It was Crow that was, spiraling, saying it was a reflection of the sky, the water, or something.
But
yeah, that was.
We're not saying that was proof of that.
There's so many different theories that the Earth is flat.
No, there's only 2. Well, there's only one actually. It looks flat at least.
So what happens when you get to the edge of it?
We don't
edge
know.
of the Earth.
What edge? I mean, the whole thing is.
What? Sorry, I love this question. Carry on.
No, you go ahead. I know you do. I know you do. Go ahead.
It's like asking what happens when you get to the edge of reality. What happens then? What happens at the edge of space? What are we expanding into? No one's been to the quote-unquote limitation of reality, the edge of the Earth. No idea. So to ask what would happen when we got there, I couldn't give you an answer. No one could.
So I'm in the UK. So on my map, I'm in the center, right? If I went to America and I was still looking at the same map, the quickest way would be to go around the Earth, wouldn't it? To go to the other side.
In a circle.
To go to Australia or whatever. And
you just fly to Australia.
Yeah. So, but if I went the other way, it would take longer. How would they be teleporting? How would they? Say if they.
Got you. Yeah, got you. You think? Yeah, I got you. So you think the Earth's square, north at the top, south at the bottom, and east to west, you come off and reappear like a Pac-Man? No. So we navigate using magnets and compasses. put a magnet on your table, get a compass, and go in a circle around your table. You've obviously travelled east or west around the magnet. This is how we circumnavigate. Magnet's in the middle, north, we go east to west around that in a circle. Now we can do that on a flat surface because we're using a magnet on the table. So that's all we're doing. We're going round in circles. Those circles are either going east and coming back or west and coming back, but circles around north.
So what if you went the opposite way, though, even if it's telling you to go the other? So say if the compass was telling you to go right.
South.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
ultimately, when you go south, on a ball, where do you get to? What's the place you get to?
Wait, say it again.
If you go south on a ball Earth, where do you get to? What's the name of the continent?
I don't fucking know geography, man.
Antarctica. Right, in the north it's the Arctic, in the south it's Antarctica, right? Cool. So if you've got the north on the flat Earth in the center and you go outwards south, you're still going to reach Antarctica, because it doesn't matter what you do, when you travel south you reach Antarctica.
What happens if you go past it, though?
Well, past it, over it, don't know. So this is the thing about Antarctica. You should now start asking questions when I tell you this. There's something called the Antarctic Treaty, which for ecological reasons, because if we go down there we'll drown the Earth, because of ecological reasons no one's allowed to really go down there, let alone stake claim to it, mine for resources or military activity. The Antarctic Treaty was set up in 1959 between warring nations. America, Russia, China, Europe, all of these warring nations agreed to not use this for military or personal purposes. This treaty is still in effect today. So when you travel below the 60th parallel, you need permission to do so. The only permission that you can get is if you're with an organised research, scientific research from a government or whatever. So you can't freely explore this land anyway. So to ask us what happens in this land that we're not allowed to go to, I couldn't tell you.
And besides the fact that the further south you go, all you do is reach that freezing cold. There's no plants, there's no trees, there's no animals, there's no nothing. All there is miles and miles of white.
But what about Australia as well? Is that just upside down?
What about it?
Or is that just like on the right side of the map?
Yeah. So like that.
But what if you just went like the quickest way?
Imagine. Yeah, I got you. Imagine you're looking down on a globe Earth and you see the north.
Yeah.
Right, now stretch the bottom out. Right, so you kind of have the three continents pointing outwards: South America, South Africa, and where Australia and New Zealand will be, and then the hugeness of the Pacific Ocean. So that would primarily what some people would conceptualize the Earth to be. Radiating out from the central point, that point being north.
But so then, what's gravity?
Where's the gift of
what's
that?
gravity?
It unfolding.
So is gravity not real, or is it just like something that? Or is it just like a giant magnet or something? What is gravity to you guys?
Right, gravity works on the presupposition that the Earth is a ball in space. It works for that story, but ultimately there's no scientific evidence or experiment that's ever proven any gravitational idea. What we've got is we can drop things, solid objects, we pick up rocks and they fall back down, but ultimately when we look in this a little bit further, it's relationships between objects and mediums. It's the same thing why oil separates on water, why helium rises when it's contained, or why a beach ball flies out the bottom of a swimming pool when you let it go. It's all relative density at the direction of up and down. But within your idea of what's gravity, something pulling it stuff back down to the Earth. That's never been scientifically proven, but it works on the premise that the Earth is a ball, so obviously it's not real. Unless you think there's a scientific experiment that proves it.
So you think that oil doesn't mix with water because of what exactly? Because of
that I'm just pointing out that there's relationships between objects and mediums. All right, you can drop things, heavy objects, but I can drop a helium balloon and it will rise. I can take a beach ball down to the bottom of a swimming pool, let it go, and it will go flying out of the top and then rest on the surface. Scientifically, because all we're varying and manipulating is the object and the medium, it's relative density as to why things rise and descend.
But there's been so many researchers of flat earthers that have been saying, like, they've spent thousands to prove that it's flat, but when it's been proven them, like, they've proved themselves wrong that it's round.
In what way?
Like, there's plenty of articles of people trying to.
So lots of mainstream articles where they're telling you that flat earthers are ridiculous and blah blah blah. What specifically have we supposed to have done?
But where'd you get your information from then?
What, by observing the earth, water, and noticing that over any distance it doesn't curve. There's no visible curvature to the earth. There's no measurable movement to the earth. And you can't demonstrate gas pressure without a container and stop it dispersing into vacuums without a container. Those are all demonstrable things. You can demonstrate the earth to be flat and stationary. It's verifiable to you.
So, because things don't.
Yeah, anything we tell you, you can actually go out and do, unlike the things that they tell you. You can actually go to a beach and look at the, oil rig that's 10 miles out. You can go to Hawaii and see other Hawaiian islands that are 50, 70 miles away. Things that can't happen on a ball.
Maybe because the ball's fucking massive compared to you guys.
No, dude.
Is it?
But really, if you go, the massive thing about this, the radius of the Earth is only 3959. It's a small world. It has an actual curvature of 8 inches per mile squared. It's 8 inches in 1 mile, 32 inches in 2 miles, and 6 feet in 3 miles. So you're saying if you're on a desert and somebody walks 3 miles away from you, your feet are above their head? It's literally the size of the ball they give you. It's not huge. They just want you to think it's huge. But the size they give us is not that big.
Do you understand that geometric claim? It's a circle. We're told how big it is. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we've got a sphere or a circle, and we know how big it is, we can start applying a little bit of math to it, can't we? Awesome. We should be able to figure out how much descent there should be between point A, the top of the ball, relative to you, and point B over the arc. Point B would have descended from point A, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's 8 inches per mile squared, like Goss1 just pointed out. We know the size of the ball. This is what we should mathematically observe. Second thing we can figure out is where the geometric horizon should be for an observer standing on that curved surface. If we know the size of the ball and we know our altitude, all we have to do is draw a tangent line to the sagittar of that curved surface, and that's where the physical horizon should be. It's just maths and geometry, right?
Yeah, true.
Awesome. Taking those mathematical equations and geometry into account, this is how we would falsify the claim if the Earth was curving or not. As in, the Earth should curve at 8 inches per mile squared, and the horizon should be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's feet in height. So for an observer at 1 foot, the horizon cannot be any further than 1.2 miles away. Now that's just math, that's just geometry. So no, the Earth isn't so big that we shouldn't be able to see it. It's big enough and measurable enough that we should be able to measure and observe curvature. Something that we don't do.
So what about other planets then? Are they round or are they flat as well?
Don't know. Can't get there. We see circles of light. We're concentrating on the Earth. And if you're going to say that they're like us, we must be like planets, then we should measure curvature and measure motion like those things have, but we don't, so we're not like them. Have you heard the argument ships disappear over the curvature of the Earth?
Say that again, sorry.
Have you heard the argument that ships disappear over the curvature of the Earth? Ancient Greeks and so on.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So this is a claim to the Earth being physically in the way of you seeing the bottom of the boat, right?
The Earth is in the way of seeing the bottom of the boat.
Yeah, because it's curving, right? That's a claim to the physical Earth being in the way. You can't see the bottom of the boat because of physical Earth curve, right?
What, when it's going over the
Yes.
curve?
Yeah. When you're standing at the beach and you're watching a boat go away from you, it disappears from the bottom up. That claim is because of physical Earth curve is in the way, right?
No, it just disappears into the distance.
Awesome stuff. So that's not Earth curve that anybody's ever seen then, right?
But you can't see it go down, can you?
No, you can't. You just see a boat going into the distance. I'm glad you've admitted that.
But
ultimately, the claim is this: we can see the effects of Earth curvature because we can't see that the physical Earth curve's in the way.
God,
Do you understand
you
that?
sound retarded.
Oh man.
Your claim on a curved surface is something at distance will be obstructed because of the curved surface between you and it. Say I'm retarded one more time and you can leave the server, because I'm starting to think it's you.
Starting to think it's me.
Yeah, because if you've got a curved surface between you and an object you're observing, the curved surface is going to get in the way, right?
Wait, but what do you mean it's me? For what?
No, don't worry about that. Just answer the question, please.
What does he mean?
No, you remember when you said boat over the horizon?
Pardon?
Why do you think they go over the horizon? Do you think they're traveling over a curve?
Well, it's not like they're gonna fall off, are they?
No, but answer my question.
What do you even ask, really? I thought I answered it.
You know how boats disappear into the distance, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that happens?
Because the mass, or not the mass, but other things in the distance, like, kind of crowd it around it. Because say if you see many people in a crowd, sort of thing.
Yeah, dude. But we're just saying there's not a crowd of people near the boat on the ocean, so I don't know what you're talking about.
There's light, like the light to travel to your eye. There's.
Oh, well, you're talking about angular resolution, so yeah, we could skip that one, I guess, because you're not claiming they go over a curve. I don't know why that was brought up.
Who is this?
Joby. I think I'm the one who brought you in here. Could be the same guy.
What do you mean? Well, you brought me in?
From the daddy server, but it doesn't matter. Just get over with it.
From the daddy server?
It might be a different guy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm a complete different guy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So am I like who am I then to you guys?
What do you mean? Just a globe?
Like am I an idiot or?
No, you're just a globe.
You just believe in
Someone
stories.
we're trying to help. Just
trying to help.
We tried, just to spread. If you're here interested in the subject, we're here to give you the truth about the subject. Unlike the Flat Earth Society and other places where you're not going to get the truth.
How does it help?
Because you're being lied to.
But what does it matter?
It wouldn't bother you that generations of people have been deceived about the very place they live. They could be hiding land and blah, blah, blah.
If it doesn't affect me, why does it matter? If my life is normal the same way, if it's round or not, why would it matter?
Because governments are stealing money from you, saying that they're doing these things that they're making up and they're not doing.
What is
That's one reason. Well, programs like NASA and Chinese for the Australia, everyone that's got a space agency is stealing money from their people. If no one is going to space and it's all CGI, then that's a good reason right there. Just for the one is just a cash flow.
You know what the problem
And
is.
it
You know what
affects
the
you.
Ghost One. You know what the problem is, right? It's that he loves the lie. He loves it.
I love the lie.
Yeah, I mean, you don't care that you're being lied to, so that means you must like it.
No. I mean,
No, I mean, if it doesn't matter to you, then that means you must not care, and you like to be lied to.
No.
I mean, because I wouldn't like to be lied to.
Well, how? Like, it doesn't bother me. Why does it have to bother me?
So it doesn't bother you that you're being lied to. So let's say you have a girlfriend and she's cheating on you. She means she's lying to you. Where were you at, honey? Oh, so I was with friends. What were you doing? Nothing. You know, behind your back,
That
she was
would
out with
bother
some,
me.
you know, her other man.
Because
Why? Well, then why would it lie?
Because it's a
if she's
personal
lying to you, why would it
relationship. That's
bother
the
you?
difference.
Well, I mean, again, so where the nature of where you live at, or how things actually, how reality actually is, doesn't bother you at all.
No.
I mean, they're telling you something, and yet you don't really care.
Yeah, well, hold on, but he just said it was a personal relationship. How about the fact that they hid that this place was created for you and you were here for a reason, and they hid and you have a personal relationship with your creator, or could have if you were brought up in a world where you were taught that, hey, you're something special and this place was made for you. You know, you could have a personal relationship with a creator and a whole different life and a whole different thinking than thinking that, oh, I'm an insignificant piece of sand and there's no consequences for my actions. So nothing matters. And then you have the thought that you have. But if you would have been brought up in a world where there was no NASA, there was no space program, and ever since the day you were born, they said that, hey, you were born into this special place for a reason.
But
let's see if we can figure it out together.
Flat, even if you prove it's flat, it's not going to change anything, would it?
If it's created or if it came from a big bang, that's the question. Who cares about all the rest of the thing is? It all goes back to the very first thing. Did this place get created by something? Is it created, or was there a big bang and it just happens to be here because of nothing? You came from nothing, or you came from someone? That's the question. That's the bottom line question. And that would have changed your whole life if you were brought up being told that, hey, you're in a special place, you're a special person, and you're here for a reason, other than being told your whole life that, oh, you're this insignificant nothing, that there's millions of planets out there, and every day a meteor could hit you, an alien could come take over the Earth. It's just 101 death scenarios.
But
fear.
Even if you knew who your creator was, you couldn't really have a personal relationship with them because some people may.
It's getting religious now.
Wow.
So you couldn't, but some people may. So how are you going to divine this?
Because there'd still be levels of
grey area.
Different people. There's still there'd still be poverty.
Determined by you. Well, you don't know about that because
just me.
How would poverty be a thing? How would poverty be a thing if governments were not lying?
How wouldn't poverty be a thing?
Well,
we wouldn't need charities to get people to go and you wouldn't have 1% of the earthly population with so much money they could feed and clothe the entire earthly population hundreds of times over and still be the richest people in the fucking world.
So
you
why
wouldn't
didn't
have that.
do it? So why didn't they do it? Because if they're taking in the money, if they're taking in the money,
why they wouldn't, they're not. They're not.
Why?
The point is they're not. We don't have to talk. We don't have to talk about why, because they're not. The evidence is they don't, because people are starving.
even if they had the money, why still
Which they
wouldn't they
do.
do it?
Well, hold on.
Because they've decided not to.
This doesn't have
Because
anything to do with flat Earth, though. What are we going on about this?
I mean, it kind of
Yeah.
does still. It's just
Now we gotta get back on topic, man.
it is still on topic because we're talking about the government. Why it like
Man, it's like
the
this.
government about the
Are you
flat Earth.
sincerely, if you really sincerely don't really care about being lied to, and that maybe your grandparents were lied to, and generations before them, and your children, and on and so on and so forth, then maybe you're in the wrong place. Yeah.
What do you mean I'm in the wrong place?
If you don't care, we all
You're
care.
wrong. Yes.
We care that we all get lied to. And I got grandchildren who are getting ready to go to school and get lied to. That matters to me. So,
But why? If their life is going to be the same either way.
It's not gonna
No.
be
yeah,
the
we
same.
know
I
it's
just
going to be the
explained to
same.
you.
No. Like, if it's going to be the same, if they know or not. Say if they grow up knowing it's going to be a flat Earth, and if it's not going to be a flat Earth, it's still going to be the same for them, isn't it?
You're asking me a choice. Do I
Because
want my
if
children to
you,
live in a fantasy land or do I want them to live in reality? I choose reality. I'll shut
the
up.
small community is not going to win against the government. Because
We're not trying to
either
win
way,
against the
Fighting against the
government.
government. We're not fighting against government. At the moment, we're fighting against you or the next person that comes in with a decent question. And we wouldn't be fighting against them because we're not fighting. We're just giving people information that they can verify. Pointing that we've obviously been lied to. What you do with that information is up to you. So what we can do is we can move on to some other people. I've voice verified and unmuted. Hold tight, my friend. Going to move on to someone
can
else.
I ask one question?
Yeah, in a minute.
One last question.
One question. Yeah, one last question.
When did you start believing it was a flat Earth?
Who are you asking this
I
to?
came to understand the Earth was flat about 5 years ago.
But what brought you to that conclusion that it was?
I tried to prove it was a globe for 6 months. I went to a lake and flashed a mirror over 8 miles. I'll shut up.
I didn't ask you the question. I was asking Jedi.
Bearable.
Yeah.
You from the UK? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know France?
Yeah.
You know Calais? You know Dover? Right? I live down there. This is where I live. You can see France from Dover. You can see France from Folkestone. If we lived on a ball, we shouldn't be able to. Long distance observations show things in the distance that we should not be able to see if the surface of the Earth was curved, because the curved surface would get in the way. So just by looking at it. So a short long distance observation where I saw something that I shouldn't do if I was on the ball. That's where I started. Obviously a lot of research later, and I can turn around to you with absolute clarity and tell you the Earth is observably and measurably and practically used as a flat stationary plane, and we're not flying through space, which is a vacuum, so we're told. Because you can't demonstrate any of those claims to be true. You can't measure Earth curvature, you can't measure Earth's motion, and you can't demonstrate gas not fucking off into vacuums without physically stopping it with a barrier.
So baseline here is that most of you are fucking retards then. So
No, baseline here is we go by what is practically and
You're a fucking
demonstratively true.
You're
Can we change your name to
No,
Unbearable?
because you have a belief, and that's fine. And now you want to project that belief onto me, even though I'm telling you it's an understanding based on what is practically demonstratable. As in, I can physically do this. You believe in things that aren't physically demonstratable, but want to project your now insecurity onto us.
Do you guys go outside? That's a real question, right?
Yeah.
That's how we know it's flat.
Yeah, so I went to Dover and I saw France. I also got on a ferry and saw France come towards me. So see you later. So we can move on to the next person. Obviously, someone's starting to spiral. They can just sit there and listen for a while.
You should change
So
his name to Unbearable
Kels,
Jedi.
yeah, I know. I'm just going to start unmuting people for fun now. So Kels, I've unmuted you. How are you? Kels, I see your light flashing. No sound.
Heard of it.
Gonna need to get a voice check from you, Kels. Is that you? Hello? Alright, muted himself. I will mute you, just for shits and giggles. I see Middy's joined us. Good evening, Middy. How are you?
What up, Jedi?
Middy's a troll. Get him out of here.
What up, buddy?
Yo, what's up? Earth is round, man.
Yeah, man.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
I got better proof than that.
What up, Dave?
What's going on, Middy?
So, yeah, I was listening to this guy, man. He just sounded confused the whole time, and like he didn't care. So,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little relieved when I found out he was one of the guys I brought in.
Did you bring in Tyler K?
I brought in a group of guys, like 4 or 5 of them.
All right. Okay, Tyler K, I've unmuted you. You've got permission to speak if you want to do so. If you don't speak in the next 10 seconds. Well, I'm Tyler. How you doing?
Based off something you said to Bearable, I believe it was. Are you just saying that we're basically like, because you said something about what was it? I'm trying to think. Okay, I'll just ask the question in general. So are we just like a floating flat pancake in the middle of nowhere?
No, we're not floating. We're not a pancake. The Earth is easier to find as the floor of the universe with the lights in the sky above us. But we're not going or moving in any direction. And so it's easier termed as the floor and the lights in the sky are above us.
All right, I just wanted to say pancake because it's flat. That's why.
Yeah, I get you. Lots of people come up with this circular
That's
idea,
Kansas,
so-
actually.
Yeah.
Kansas is flat like a pancake.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's true. But lots of people come up with this circle idea, so pizza, pancake, coin. But yeah, don't know if the Earth is a circle. Couldn't tell you that. That circle comes from, well, I would suggest the sun, the circle of the sun, and how it influences where it melts land and where it doesn't. But ultimately, that's probably where the circle comes from. But we don't make a claim to the shape of the Earth. Circles are shape. We don't claim that. We describe the surface. That's where the flat bit comes from. So the description of the surface is level or flat. So no claim to shape, just the surface is level.
All right. What happens when you reach the edge of the Earth?
Well, that's the other thing, though. We don't claim that there's an edge. You've been brought up your whole entire life that you're on the outside of a spinning ball. What happens if you're on the inside of something?
I mean, I guess you would roll around on the
interior, the floor. This is the floor, and you're on the inside of something that holds in the air and everything else that we see, the water, everything. Just like a beaker on a chemistry lab's desk or whatever. He's got a little light at the top of it, and he's got some water and some algae, and maybe a tadpole swimming around in it. He's in a container. That tadpole's never gonna. If he hits the edge, it's see-through. He can't see it. It's clear glass. He's just gonna swim and bump into the edge. Just like us, we can't go past the 60th parallel. It just gets too cold for us to go. If you go up or out, it just gets too cold for humans to live. It's like a natural barrier around us, but we don't say we're on the outside of a spinning ball. We're on the inside of something that's sitting on something. So who knows what that beaker is sitting on a counter, that's sitting on a floor, that's a part of a building, that's part of a university, that's part of, it can be as simple as that you're inside of something.
So has anyone ever actually gone out past the 60th parallel or whatever you said it's called?
Yeah.
No one that'll honestly tell us the truth, though. So if anybody has, even if they ran into the wall or whatever that there is or isn't,
you've got
no one's told
sorry,
us.
Goffson. We've got scientific, quote-unquote, researchers in research bases on Antarctica. Right? No one's saying really that you can't go below, or people don't go below the 60th parallel. You can get on a cruise and go to some outlying region, have a photo opportunity with some penguins and fuck off again. But that's just one location on the coast. But yeah, there are people there. But when you consider there's only about 1,500 people there in the summer compared to 7 million people that actually live on the earth anyway. That's a very, very small percentage of people that are actually there. These people are there for very specific reasons. Whether they're doing science research or very compartmentalized in what they're doing, who knows? The ultimate thing is me, you, and everybody else have to have exceptional permission to go to this place. So for us to tell you what was beyond this place, being as we'd never been to Antarctica, we couldn't tell you. I think Goss one explained that really well.
All right, and who could possibly grant you permission to go past that area, if you know?
Right. So the signatories of the Antarctic Treaty are around like 59 nations. Major, I think it's even more than that now. I'm talking about when it was original. When you send off an application to one country, every other signatory to that contract has to say yes. So if I apply to the UK government, the Americans and the Russians and everybody else are going to have to say yes to me going. One of them says no, I don't go. So that's how hard it is, and that's just answering one question.
Yeah, it's a little
you have
harder.
to jump.
Hey, can I add one thing to it quickly too? Because somebody mentioned
please.
this. The signature countries of it, like Russia, China, and America, need permission to go there too. There's been recently 2 actions against Russia and China for trying to explore to take resources out of the Antarctic without permission of all the signatories. So even the signatures of the treaty have to get permission from other treaty members before they do what they're going to do there.
We're not going there. It's ecologically protected. There's a treaty enforcing it. But
All
ultimately,
right.
we're not going there because it's fucking cold.
So, like, under normal conditions, no one could just ride a boat or whatever through it, correct?
Under normal conditions, through it. What do you mean?
Well, I guess through the area.
Yeah, on a boat, you'd be on the water, then you'd get to Antarctica. No idea how much further you'd have to walk or travel to get to the end of reality.
line where nothing is still expanding.
Does that sound plausible to you guys? What about you, Tyler? Does that sound like a real possibility?
Sure. Now,
Okay.
since you guys were saying that, what's it called? You needed permission from, you said I guess the president or whatever of this countries, right?
Yeah,
To go
50
through this?
nations that signed off on that treaty.
All right. So ideally they would know about it. Like if I went up to, I don't know, all 50 and I asked Putin or Donald Trump, they would say, oh yeah, I know about the edge or the 60th parallel or the flat earth.
Well, I mean, some world
They know about
leaders.
the Antarctic Treaty.
Some world leaders have actually been to Antarctica, like for whatever reason. Like I think there were like reports in the news of, I think Obama, I think John Kerry for some reason. I remember that dude going there. Just a couple people. So like, I mean, talk about the edge. That's like a mythical thing. But yeah, I mean, people have been to Antarctica. It's just it's Arctic.
All right. So I assume based off the treaty, they would all be taught on the flat earth itself.
No,
You
they,
can't be-
even
it
the
can't be
guys
too
that
many
went
here.
there.
Sorry.
Anybody that ever goes there only goes to the outer edge at like 65 parallel. There's only been a couple people that have ever been to the 80th or 90th or to the center of the even on a ball. There's only a couple people that have ever been to the center of the continent. You don't understand how cold, and there's no life, there's no plants, there's no nothing. There's times that for weeks on end that you can't see nothing except for white. You can't see your hand, anything. It's just white. Snow is blowing across the thing, and you just all you see is white for weeks on end. There's no vegetation. There's nothing to hunt. There's no firewood. There's no nothing. It's like it's a huge desert of ice.
Right.
It's an extremely
Nobody goes there.
It's an extremely inhospitable environment. It's extremely dry, even though there's lots of ice there. It's the driest continent on Earth, and it's the highest, so we're told, on average, highest continent on Earth. So it's hard to breathe anyway. But we're talking about a region that on average can get to -50 to -70. It's recorded up to -90 degrees. I mean, that's fucking cold.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to survive out. Yeah, you're not going to survive out there.
Well, yeah.
If that's what it is.
His question was though, like that all these people that signed off on this treaty and all these world leaders must know about the flat earth. And that's not necessarily true. I think what you need to understand is that the treaty, if you look at the timeline, which we're not going to get into all that now, but basically the way things develop, they discovered this, flat earth. There were definitely people from the government and military and, so-called space agencies that did know about this. But the point is, like, that's how they're hiding it. The treaty was established around that time when they were discovering this stuff about the earth. And so like the flat earth logo, the UN logo is the flat earth. Like, if it's not like a map, but I mean, it's basically like the AE map or the Gleason map with like a crosshair on it. So the treaty is what's keeping, because think about it. If you could just fly over the South Pole in a straight line and then come back up north, that would prove the globe. You could do that overnight. We make flights all time, east to west. So that would prove the globe. So think about the one place that would prove the globe you can't go. So like, this is part of a big conspiracy, dude. I mean, you gotta, at least learn about it before you could decide whether it's true.
All right. So I assume most of you guys were you did self-experiment or self-research or read online and stuff like that to find your information. I don't think you guys were probably taught in school this, correct?
I mean, a lot of these basic concepts we were taught in school, like as far as like science and math, and there are, there's useful things that we learned in school. Like some of us have degrees, some of us whatever studied on our own. I mean, you could take college courses online. You could go on YouTube, you could watch lectures. So I mean, in this information age, honestly, I would have to say I learned more on this server than I did in college, and I have a degree. So that's I'll just put it like that.
All right, that's all I had to say.
Cool.
I was just wondering.
Cool.
Hey, Jedi.
Yo.
Yo, did you get that video?
I did, buddy. I haven't looked at it yet, but I definitely have received it from him. I've got it on a list of things that I've got to fucking do, apparently. But yeah, I'll get around to it, mate. Is it short?
It's only
I might watch it now.
2 minutes.
Okay. I'll get around to it, buddy. I'm not in a visual mood at the moment.
It's all good.
But I will get around to it, buddy. I promise.
I did repost their MIDI in live stream too.
Yeah, I'm actually checking it out right now. I see what you did there. That's very similar to the video that I did and I sent Elijah.
Yeah, if you looked at the first mountain, once I go to the second mountain is 14 miles away. How far is that first mountain?
Oh no, I was looking at your moon video. Hold up, let me see.
You just go up a little bit.
Oh, okay, it's probably above it. Yeah, I see that. Okay, what were you saying about the mountain? Now it makes sense.
My bad. No, the mountain that you see in the beginning, and then I'm gonna pan around to the second mountain. The second mountain is 14 miles away.
Okay, I'm watching that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, man, there's no drop. I mean, 14 miles, that would be how much drop? A couple hundred feet, or at least like probably 200.
14 times 14 times 8 divided by 12 gives you the number of feet.
And what would that be?
If it gets to be over 5,000, just divided by 5,280, it'll give you the miles.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm just.
I'll get a calculator now and do it. It was 14 miles away?
Yeah, the second mountain is 14 miles away.
I mean, I don't think it should be obstructed by much, like, by theoretical curvature, but it's still, what I mean is, like, the way you see it, it's extending like a flat plane. There's no drop.
No droppity.
And you're pretty high up there. How high? What? It's pretty high.
I posted the building that I'm in.
How many? Here, let me see. Oh, okay. 49. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like around. So that's 771 feet tall. That's
Yeah.
Is that yeah, I guess that's bottom to top. So you're probably around probably around 700-ish feet.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to post the other mountain, the first one, and this how far that mountain is.
You know what would be good? If you could get some kind of reference to where the horizon would be, you could get a black swan.
Well, this is what I'm showing you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm guessing that it's pretty much... Yeah, I'm guessing it's pretty much a black swan. I just need to see the reference. There you go. 184 miles.
Yeah, the first mountain. The second mountain is only 14 miles away.
184? What in the hell?
Uh-huh.
What the hell? Yo, bro. Wait, we gotta confirm that that's the... Are you sure that... Yeah, well, that's the mountain. That is the direction that you're looking.
It's the opposite direction.
And there's no other mountains before that, right?
No. Give me just a second. I'll get you some more information. Hold on.
Damn, dude. 184 miles.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Where should the geometric horizon be in this observation? if we're standing on a curved surface at that known altitude? Is there any things that we can point to that we know the distance to? Because if we can ascertain to the distance to the horizon, it might be a black swan.
Yeah, Bearable has a question. I'm not really sure what he means by that, but he says, where do you get the size of the Earth? So if you're talking about like the radius and the circumference and all that kind of stuff, we're talking about the theoretical model of the globe. That's all based on the heliocentric model that we don't believe in, just to make that clear if anyone's like confused.
Yeah, circumference of 24,901 miles. That's the agreed on circumference of the Earth. The radius value of 3,959. That's the agreed upon radius of the Earth. Double that for the diameter. But those are the sizes of the ball, so we're told. So draw a circle on a piece of paper, put those numbers to it, and tell me how fast it's going and then it's spinning, and there you've got a geometric model. Does that model fit reality? Can we measure that? No. We should do though, right? According to the model, but we don't. So the model's not observed or measured.
Yeah, you should be asking your globe scientists. Well, I don't like to call them, but you know what I mean. You should be asking your globe people where they got their sizes of Earth. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, we're just using their numbers they gave us, so don't blame us.
This is why the word physical keeps getting bandied about. Physical measurement of the Earth being curved. There isn't one. So therefore, it's just a reification of geometry, because you can draw circles on a piece of paper and tell me how big the circle is. Imaginary. So there's no physical measurement to the model. That's the point. And there never has been. So nothing to prove the model in the first instance to come up with it. Yeah, problems.
No curve, no spin, no space.
I've unmuted Zoe 7, so Zoe 7, you've got control of your microphone if you want to speak. Welcome to the server, Zoe 7.
She's sitting there just listening and shit. He or she, I'm presuming Zoe's a she, but so they're just listening, shit. Anybody else?
Yeah, just listening, yeah. Tyler K has muted themselves. There's Kells, I suppose I could try and unmute again, but that conversation didn't go well last time. Bearable is still here. I can try Kells. Give me a second. So, Kells, I've unmuted you. You got control of your mic. Kells, are you there? Apparently, Zoe Kells didn't want to speak. That's a shame.
Yeah, so we're trying to. Oh, sorry, Jeddah.
No, you're right. He just told me that his microphone was mucking up, so I'll stick him on mute and he can sort it out. What was you going to say, mate?
You could give him Broken Mic Gang if you want. I was going to say, we're looking at Redman's photo, his video. So, like, I'm looking at from 750 feet, the geometric horizon is actually predicted at 33 miles. But we're looking at this mountain that, I still have to. I'm pretty sure he's identified the right mountain, but thing is like 184 miles away, and I'm trying to figure out where the horizon is. Even if it's before that mountain, that's still like over almost 200 miles, and that's still a black. It's a black swan. I'm just trying to figure out how much of how black the swan is.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even looking
at the mountain,
just
at least even with the horizon. Sorry, right. If you can see the mountain, it's at least even. That's where the horizon is, at least.
Yeah, it's at least I mean it's a little hazy, but you definitely see that mountain. That's 184 miles away. Geometric hidden is 2.8 miles. So I'm guessing that that mountain is I don't even know the elevation. I don't know the elevation profiles. That's something I think is important to take into account. But with that aside, I mean, that mountain would have to be at least about 3 miles, 4 miles to even see any of it.
Yeah.
And you see the whole
Big problem
mountain.
for a small mountain.
You just see there's a lot of
Yeah, right.
atmosphere at the bottom of the mountain, which is, fog, haze,
Yeah.
all that atmosphere.
Well, the one that's real foggy. That was the first time I took a picture from that height, and looking at the mountain that day. I want to say it was around about 9 o'clock in the morning. So the sun wasn't, out. It's gonna sound funny, but I'm gonna just say it like it is. Almost like cooking the sky. And now, if you look at the other mountain, which is the same mountain, Stone Mountain, at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the day, all the air is stirred up where you can see further. You know what I mean? It's clear.
It makes sense, dude. Think about it. When you boil water and the vapor comes off of the water, I sound like Jimbo now, but it's like Jimbo brought up a really good point earlier. No. But seriously, if you think about it, so now, like you said, cooking, and that actually sounds silly, but there's some truth. You got a lot of the vapor evaporating and rising up, and it makes sense. Vapor power. But dude, that's on a foggy day. Imagine, like, dude, one day you're gonna get a clear shot of that shit. It's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah, it will be wild. Now, if you look at the clearer picture, if you look at the base of the mountain down at the bottom, you still see the horizon going behind the mountain itself.
That's what I'm trying to. I don't want to. Yeah, you do actually.
That's the important part, that you can see the trees in the ground there and the horizons pass by. Because if it's on any type of a curve, no matter what it is, you shouldn't be able to see the bottom of it. If you can see the bottom of it, there's only one way for it to be flat. If it was curving down at all, you'd be missing, part of the bottom of the mountain. You wouldn't see the trees and the horizon behind it.
Right. Wow.
I'll circle where I'm talking about.
So that geometric horizon, is supposed to be at 33 miles, 33.5 miles. So that's how much further is that? Because we know the mountain is 184, so we could safely say that the horizon is past 180. Like, damn, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't even tell. It's like the black swan. How do you tell how far it is?
I'm fine with we'll just say 180, just to see how many times. I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so hold up. So 180 divided by 33. So that's 5.4. So that's over 5 times further than the globe is predicting. That's awesome. At least. It could be even much worse.
Sorry, Midi, I thought you finished, mate. Kels has just told me that their microphone's fixed, so I've unmuted them. So, Kels, if you want to speak, you can do so.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hi, Kels. Yeah,
Hi.
we hear you, buddy.
So I'm like on the verge of. I wouldn't say I'm a flat earther, but I wouldn't say I'm a glober either. I'm still trying to get, convinced that the Earth is flat, but at the same time, I don't really necessarily believe that it's a globe either, if that makes any sense. My mom, she's a flat earther, right? And she tells me all these things. I'm mainly confused about planes. Like, we fly every day and it looks flat, right? But what about, spaceships? Like the videos we get sent from NASA or whatever that shows it's, a globe.
All right, one thing. Can you get in a plane and see the Earth to be flat from a plane?
To me, yes.
Right. Can you get in a spaceship and go to space and see the Earth to be a ball?
Personally, no.
Awesome. Well, when you say personally, we get you because we're told some people have been to space. That's
Right.
fine. But what we have to understand is the information we're given is by an authority. This information is the story and the model and images. Now, things can be manipulated, especially images on TV and photographs. Data can be manipulated. The only way you would figure out whether it was or it wasn't was by looking at it and verifying it for yourself.
Right.
The place where these images are coming from, space, the vacuum, can't exist. You cannot have uncontained gas pressure. To have gas pressure, you need a container for the gas to press on. If you don't contain gas and it's adjacent to a lower pressure system like a vacuum, the gas, the higher pressure, is going to disperse into the lower pressure system if it's not contained, because we're told that we have gas pressure and it's uncontained from the vacuum of space, breaks laws of nature. It's against the direction of entropy. High pressure always goes to low pressure. That's the direction of entropy. It doesn't go the opposite way. The vacuum doesn't fill the high pressure system, right? The high pressure fills the vacuum. So understanding that, images from space can't be real.
Okay, so
Because
with
they
your
come from a
logic,
place that
have
can't
you
exist.
ever been in a spaceship?
No, with my logic.
Okay, so how do you know the Earth is flat? If you can't prove it's fake,
Because
the
the
images that we get.
surface, because, oh, right. So when I'm talking about the Earth being flat, that's because I don't need to get into a rocket to measure the surface that I'm on. I don't need to go away from the surface to measure it. But I get what you mean by going away from the surface to see if it looked like a shape or not. But ultimately, the only way that I could demonstrate to you gas pressure was to put gas inside a container. Because the gas is pressing on the inside of the container, you have now got gas pressure, something that we experience here on the Earth. If I want to stop gas from dispersing into a vacuum, I must physically contain it. When I open that container, a vacuum chamber, the gas, the higher pressure, disperses into the lower pressure because that's entropy. So entropy rules out space, and I demonstrate the Earth to be flat because the surface that I measure is level.
Okay, so kind of off topic, but what is, in your opinion, the reason the government is lying to us about flat Earth?
There's loads.
Can you name
And it's
one?
all speculation. It's control.
So
And that's just pulling one out of the air.
how is it
Loads
controlling
of different reasons. Okay. How did the Earth get here?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
Awesome. Excellent. At least you're being honest about that. But we're told a story about how the Earth got here, aren't we?
Right.
Awesome. So that's a story about creation. How the Earth was created. We are told that the Earth, the universe, and everything came from a Big Bang. Now you can argue the toss whether God created the Big Bang or nature created itself. This is the dichotomy that you have when answering the question how the Earth got here. If it was a ball, if the Earth, as we are suggesting, is flat and stationary, and you ask the question how the Earth was created, was it by intelligent design or did it spring into existence all by itself? Maybe that's one of the reasons why they're lying, because they're giving you a new creation story, primarily devoid of what some people would call God.
Kind of like you're devoid of any sense.
Well, let's address that one. If I want to demonstrate something being created, I'm damn well going to need a creator to do it. I could not demonstrate to you ever something
Just tell me you
springing
voted for
into
Trump,
existence
please.
for
Just
no
tell me
apparent
you voted
reason.
for Trump, just so I can get out of here.
Well, this shows
tell
you
me
how
you
much
voted
you've
for
been
Trump.
paying attention
Just tell me
because
you voted
I'm
for
clearly
Trump.
English. I'm English.
Okay,
That's how much you paid attention. I'm English.
Just tell me.
Yeah, change
Yeah,
your
he
words
voted
now.
for Trump. Now you can get the hell out of here. Thank you.
Supporters in chat. Any Trump supporters in chat? You guys are actually fucking retarded.
And you can get muted too.
My goodness, man.
Yeah, a British guy voted for Trump. You guys are definitely bright.
Yeah.
You know, interesting thing. I could tell Kells was suspect when he said he's on the fence. The way he described it, I didn't want to type it out. I didn't want to say anything, but I felt that he was not being genuine. He said that.
Yeah, no, me too. And I think it's best to let it play out because they expose themselves every single time. All you got to do is give them the chance. Sometimes if you don't give them the chance, you accuse them of this, this, and that. They'll use that as their ammo to, troll some more, and they'll buy some more time out of that. So it's best to just let it play out, let them expose themselves, and then have a nice laugh after.
Oh.
That's my
Well,
answer.
I've got a question. Real
Is that
quick.
Kells guy?
I've got a question real quick about. So, say if you're in a forest and you go above the tree line, but then it stops at a certain point, doesn't it? But then if you go higher than that, you can see more trees than you could before. How does that work?
Oh, you talking about climbing a tree? That's my favorite.
So say if you go above the tree.
Yeah. Well, when you go higher, you see further. Isn't that amazing? You didn't know that?
It's like saying, why do I
what
see
about-
more
what
of a
about-
really
what
big
about
object
boats?
the further I
What
get
about
away from it?
boats going over the horizon then? Say if
He
you
just
went-
jumped from number 5 to number 6.
I like this. I like this one. I get you. I get you. Let's try and get some clarity to the conversation. What do you think the horizon is?
I don't really have a scientific explanation at the moment, but
Okay, well, we
Because I haven't
could
looked
just
it up.
say that the horizon is the apparent location where the sky appears to meet the floor at distance. Right? That's the horizon. The limitation of our view. Yes or no? Okay. When you say boats disappear over the horizon, you're making a claim that horizon is the leading edge of the sphere, as in the boat is descending over the other side of it, as akin to a car going over a hill, over the crest of it, and then going over the other side of it. You can't see the bottom because the curve of the Earth's in the way, right?
But the thing is, it's not square. As soon as it goes over that horizon, it's not like you can't see it again. Say if you went higher, you'd probably be able to see it again.
Yeah, but we're going to stay at the same altitude.
Wait.
I get what you mean about. I get what you mean about getting higher. But what I will point out is it doesn't matter if the surface is flat or curved. You're still going to see more of it. All right. I'm trying to figure out what you think the horizon is.
So, if you go above the tree, this is kind of similar. I'm pretty sure. If you go above the tree line, you can see a certain amount of trees. If you go even higher than that, you can see even more trees. Isn't that the same way as a boat going over the horizon?
No.
Why not? Because if you went higher, you could be able to see the boat going over the horizon again.
Okay, so let me ask you a quick question. Just listen.
You're not
Just
answering
listen.
the question. You're not answering the question. You're
No.
answering the question with another question.
If you
keep on
keep on
diverting.
going like that, I'm not diverting. Just listen. That's why people have a hard problem talking to people like you.
Yeah, let me. I'm sorry.
Hold up.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
If you say the boat going over the horizon, is it going over the curve?
Well, it's going over the point of view that you can see it from.
So would that be
the same as the trees when you're above the trees?
Okay, so
You're on a curved surface. Sorry, if you were on a curved surface, would things at distance disappear over that curved surface until you couldn't see them anymore? Because the surface is curved.
Wait, Repeat that again, because I didn't get that fully. Sorry.
If you're standing on a curved surface and watching something disappear into the distance, will the thing in the distance disappear beyond what would be the horizon or the curvature it would experience? There's curve between you and it. It would get in the way, wouldn't it?
I still don't really understand what you're trying to get at here.
I don't understand why you are having issues with a curved surface and that impeding your vision of something at distance because it's curved between you and it. You don't have a direct line of sight.
So,
may I take a stab at this?
Please.
Okay. So this is truth, flat Earth. If you climb a tree in the middle of the forest, right? If you go halfway up the tree and you look straight ahead, you will see less trees than if you go further up because there are more obstacles in your path, right? So as you go up, there will be less obstacles, and if you go further up, you'll be able to see further ahead. Now, the example of the boat vanishing, right? If you're standing on the shore and the boat is going further away from you and it starts to vanish, it looks like it's going above the curve or whatever, right? Or below the curve. But you don't actually have to go up, right, to see the boat again. You can just take a telescope standing right there on the shore and zoom in, and you will bring the boat back into zoom, right? So that's
no.
No?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
No. Actually, yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Well, I'll post a video of it. What do
Like,
you mean?
Look, if the
Yes.
boat goes, if the boat keeps going further away from you, and from your naked eye, you see that eventually the bottom starts to disappear, and then the middle starts to disappear, and then the top starts to disappear. Right? You don't have to actually get on a plane and go upwards to see the boat again. You can stand right there on the shore as long as you have a telescope, zoom in, and the boat will come back in full view again. Right? So that's what the vanishing point is. So the question is kind of weird, but I'm just trying to clarify. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that makes more sense of what than the other guy was saying. But
Yeah, check out the images I posted so you get an idea. As I zoom out with the camera, you'll notice how the boat will gradually just disappear, and eventually it's just part of the horizon. You can't resolve it as anything. The curve is in your head. That's basically what he was trying to tell you and what we're trying to illustrate for you.
But if it's in our head, isn't
Right.
that like
Sorry, go ahead.
So you're going off self experiments, aren't you? And that's in your own head,
That's
isn't
observation. It's not an experiment.
The claim's this: if we're living on a curved surface, that curved surface is going to get in the way, and we should stop seeing things at a predictable rate. What we're pointing out is long distance observations show that we see further than this prediction, as in we never see any curvature of the Earth, not with our own eyes, binoculars, high-powered zoom technology. We never observe this because we can always bring the boat back into view.
And this is objectively true, not subjective, my friend. It's not in our heads.
Some other guy just said it was in our heads.
No, the curve is in your head because when you see the boat go away, it looks like it's going, like the bottom is missing. And they try to attribute that to curvature because they don't even have any other proof. So they try to take advantage of this optical effect and they say, oh, yeah, it's just going over the curve. Like we need boats to prove, in 2020, we need boats to actually prove this globe theory. And anyway, so I go out every single day to the beach with my camera, I have a zoom lens, and I'm able to pull these boats that look like they're disappearing to the naked eye. Sometimes I'll zoom into the horizon. I'll see 3 or 4 boats that I didn't even know were there. So This is just the limit of your vision. It has nothing to do with physical curvature. That's what we're trying to show you. And there's a demonstration of a little mini boat disappearing this in the same way, but obviously it's happening not due to curvature because it's not even, it's just going like before the horizon. It's not even after the horizon where that happens. So I could show you an example. There was an experiment. No, I'm not going to use that word. There was a test that National Geographic did where they were trying to prove the globe Earth, right? And they had this flag, and they ran it into the water. Like they put it into the water, and they kind of sailed it back. And what they noticed is that the bottom started looking like it was getting cut off. You couldn't see the bottom stripes of the flag. But what they didn't realize is that the horizon was beyond this effect that was happening. So that's a perfect demonstration of how things can get obstructed due to perspective, even before they get to the horizon, based on your elevation and your angular resolution.
My mind shut off then, because I just
got anything?
couldn't care enough about it to get to.
Okay, well, it seems like you when you get into
give me like a simple answer about it.
All right, well, it's perspective. It's the way that we see things, and I can give you examples, demonstrations in real life where things disappear over a flat plane in the same way that we observe them over water. Is that good?
I'd like to add to that. There is a vanishing point, right? Your eyes can only see so far with the naked eye. And that's what I call the vanishing point, or what they're saying is perspective. You can only see so far. A lot of those times, like for example, if you're standing in New York and you're trying to see Spain, in the middle of all that, there might be a hailstorm, some fog, some mist, some things like that. And just with your eyes, even if it was a clear day, you wouldn't be able to see as far as Spain, right? You'd have to use a telescope, and it would have to be extremely clear. Not that I don't think anybody's done that experiment, but that's what a flat Earth would do.
Okay.
So your eyes can't see forever is what I'm saying, right? There's a vanishing point.
But you can literally see as far as the eye or the optical technology will allow you to see on any given day. And it's not because of Earth curvature. That's the point. Earth curvature is not stopping you seeing anything because you can see as far as any technology and atmosphere will allow you to see. So not Earth curve.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to try another one from that list? We can move on.
What do you mean another one?
You like my boat I posted up there, MIDI?
Yeah. You shot that?
No. I got this off another guy.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
it
I
just
got
proved it.
Yeah, I got a couple similar ones that I posted above. But yeah, you know what I meant by the list, man. I'm not gonna call you out.
Doesn't light curve around the Earth?
Does it?
Can you prove it?
Yeah, prove it, and then we'll believe you.
Can you prove it's not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laser. Go straight.
No, because a laser.
Lasers traveling straight paths.
I mean, that's the
because light dissipates. It's
that's
got
why
one.
you have
It's got
that's why you have beam
let me
acumulators.
finish. It's got like a concentrated point. So
wait.
if you've got a laser, yeah, it's got a concentrated point up until a certain point, and that's when it dissipates.
It diverges.
But is it
And
straight?
then if you place it on a surface,
What
it reflects.
is that? What is that? What is that limit then?
That's not my
What is
question.
limit?
You're answering
Right,
like a question with
you're
another
saying
question.
you're saying there's a limit, right? You're saying there's a limit because
For the
lasers and
concentration of light.
it all. Yeah, exactly. So laser targeting systems, that are applicable when armies want to blow shit up. What's the limitation of this technology?
When, like, well, it's not going to want to detect. Oh, I can't even speak. It's not even going to want to detect it if it's far away, does it? Because it's not like it's going to be any harm of it. It might.
Laser targeting technologies when we shine lasers at stuff to target things so we can then send ordnance to it. So a direct line of sight is required. Now, this technology is used on vessels at sea, so on water. This technology exceeds 50 kilometers, so say 35 miles. Now, if we were aiming, which we do at land base and other vessels at sea, exceeding 35 miles, from a height above that surface of no more than 100 meters, and that's giving you 100 meters, it's usually about 40, we wouldn't have a direct line of sight anywhere in excess of 35 miles because lasers point in straight lines and we can cumulate them and get them to such a narrow band that we can use them for targeting shit at extreme distances. So much so that we spend millions of years. What, the military?
But you clearly said that you didn't trust them.
What, the militaries of the world who use? No, I've never said I don't trust the military. What we're talking about is practical application. What we're talking about is practical application of light and other EMF signals, because we can take light out of the equation and then start talking about radio waves and EMF signals, microwaves, radars, which require a direct line of sight if they're going to work. They wouldn't work if the surface of the Earth was curved, which is displayed by the militaries of the world who use this technology daily to blow shit up.
So when you're on the internet, yeah, and say if you're upstairs and the internet box is downstairs, how does that work? Because if it's not got a direct line, does it?
I'm not talking about internet boxes. I'm talking about information transfer. I'm talking about direct line of sight technology, which will be hindered when stuff gets in the way. Talking about radar and stuff, which requires it to bounce off stuff and then come back again, not be hindered in something that's in the way, because it'll bounce back off of that and then you get a false reading.
Yo, did he really just say internet box?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say, like, you wouldn't say like off the internet because then you'd be using the internet, but I'm saying the internet box because I know